If you want news and rumors that appeal, welcome to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel.
If you want news and rumors that appeal, welcome to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel. Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel. I am your host, the Innkeeper, and this is our live call and talk show all about the Wheel of Time. And yeah, this is right here. Wheel of Time After Show, Season 3, Episode 7, Golden Eyes. That's right, we are back to break it all down. I hope you've had a chance to watch this episode at least twice. And I'm saying that, but I know some of you I just saw were jumped in chat and you're like, I just got done watching it. There's a lot of initial reactions to this episode. I saw them all this morning, earlier this morning. I had the same things. So yeah, I expect to see some of those initial reactions from many of you. And then I'm also looking forward to seeing what you have to say after having gone back, if you have, and watched it for a second time. And, you know, what you felt about this episode now that you've had some time to think about it, if you did watch it earlier today. But to break this down with me tonight, welcome to two people who I know love this episode in the sense of it's about a character that they very much appreciate in the Wheel of Time. So let me welcome to the show Wolfbrother and Silvertooth. How are you both doing?
How's it going, Innkeeper?
Is that a fair assessment? Is that a fair assessment? Perrin, favorite character in the Wheel of Time?
Yes, I would say that's a fair assessment for me.
Yeah, Wolfbrother, you're like, I don't want to commit. Maybe. Just like
I like Matt, I like Rand, I like 90.
You're like,
yes,
I like
absolutely. Lord Golden Eyes.
I mean, this had to be, knowing, did you both aware that this was titled Golden Eyes a while back? Were you kind of anticipating this episode, for a while now?
For sure. I tried not to, I'm not a big spoiler person, so like, I don't know that I could have told you it was episode 7, up until like everything was getting really released. But I remember an episode was going to be titled Golden Eyes, and it was like, yeah, that's probably going to be the one.
Yeah,
I think
you
had Rafe on your show after episode 8, and he mentioned something about episode 7. I was like, that's got to be it. And then when Golden Eyes was announced, I was like, okay, I'm ready.
You're ready. So, I mean, maybe you give me your now. Did you watch it earlier today? Have you had some time to think about this?
Yeah, so I was able to watch it this morning before work, which has been fun. Coffee and Wheel of Time. That's interesting. But so I was able to watch it before work. Definitely had a lot of time, therefore, to kind of process it. I attempted a rewatch before jumping on here, but just ran out of time. So got through like half of the episode.
I mean, yeah, tell me, what were your kind of overall reactions? Maybe Wolfbrother, you start with you. Overall reactions to season 3, episode 7, Golden Eyes.
Oh, right. So I enjoyed it for what it was. Is not what I was expecting at all, but I appreciate Perrin for who he is. And I think Marcus did a fantastic job, 100%. A lot of surprises, and I'm okay with that. I also watched it. I watched it early this morning, and I'm processing it. But it's not my favorite episode this season, but I liked it for what it was.
Yeah.
How about you, Robbie?
So I think it's up there for me. I mean, four was fantastic, but obviously, with it being centered around the Two Rivers and Perrin's storyline, it's going to be a big one for me. I didn't love everything that was done. I think part of that, though, is just the time constraints. I was a little annoyed that this one was only an hour instead of the hour 10. That the,
You're like, where's my previous... Give me that. It was 8 minutes back.
I needed those 10 extra minutes. There's a couple of things, Watcom does the five minutes in heaven, where you can add 5 minutes to the episode, and I definitely could have added 5 minutes easily for a couple of things. But overall, I still really love the episode. There are so many things, little things, whether it's Perrin and Faile. By the way, Faile is flawless, absolutely perfect. There's definitely a couple of things that I didn't necessarily love, but overall, I really, really enjoyed the episode.
Yeah, I watched it the second time. I think initial reactions this morning. And by the way, in chat, if you're joining us for the first time, remember this chat is meant to be a fun place to be. So if you were here this morning and you had some initial reactions to it, just don't use chat as a place to just kind of grind an axe of your angst about the episode. But obviously, enjoy yourself and make sure it's an enjoyable place for everyone else in chat. And for those of you on Instagram, thank you for joining us. You can always jump over. We poll the audience a lot in these kind of things. We'll be talking about and polling your kind of thoughts on everything we've seen. I left this one in here. Favorite season 3, episode 7 moment. 13% chose the Waygate ways. 31% chose preparation, 18% chose the attack in the pass, and then 38% chose the attack on Two Rivers, which makes a lot of sense to me. But I wanted to actually, when I went back and watched this, something I noticed more so in this episode than any other episode was the recap before. And I want us to watch that really quick because I kind of have some questions for you on basically I'm suggesting to you in the recap, it told us exactly what to expect in this episode and what they had done as far as kind of building into this episode and where they were going. So let's watch that together and let's see what you have to say afterwards.
The way of the leaf against the way of the light.
There's only one way to end violence. Everybody, everywhere has to stop.
Violence is in us all. The way the leaf isn't about denying that, it's about accepting it.
Those who renounce violence usually know it's evil.
So you're the one the Whitecloaks are after.
Bad as they are, they're our only protection from the trolics.
This one's ready for your questions. I thought you were a good man. I was! Nobody's letting her.
Is that a plan or a hope? You need both if you want to lead.
I don't.
The trolics frightened me. Oh, don't you remember what happened to Belta?
Our reinforcements have arrived. I hear you're having some trouble with the kindly folk of the Two Rivers.
This isn't a raiding party. This is an army.
Golden Eyes will have to lead his people to war, whether he wants to or not.
Yeah, that when I went back and watched it, I think the first time I watched, I was like, okay, get me to the episode. I've seen all these pieces. And now having seen the episode, going back and seeing that, like the amount of references they were bringing up to Isla and the Tinkers.
The Tuatha'an,
and the Tuatha'an, right? Talking about violence and and the way of the leaf. And I mean, they've referenced that a number of times in this build up. And then you have kind of the Faile piece of this, like, hey, like you got to be ready. You got to lead your people in this, right? And then you have like the Dain piece where he obviously feels some measure of guilt towards killing Dain's father. And you can kind of see that this is centered around what is Perrin and what's Perrin's experience going to be here when his village, right, is being attacked by the trolics, and this person he loves is just like saying, you need to stand up and defend your people, and they're expecting that from you. And also he's, the Whitecloaks are there to kind of, find him and take him. And it's like, what's his responsibility to the Whitecloaks in this, Does he and should he give himself up for justice there? And then the Tuatha'an show up, right? And it's, well, these people that were kind of impactful for him early on, like, what's his responsibility now? Like, can he, is he a violent person or not? How does he manage this question? And it seems like they really kind of formed it around these ideas. And to me, the context of the episode makes so much sense at that point, and I can understand each of the things they were trying to do. Like, Silvertooth, for you, was this, as you've thought about it, I mean, just seeing that recap, do you see similarities? I mean, things I'm talking about, does it make more sense of the choices they made to you?
Yeah, for sure. So you and I were talking a little bit pre-show. I think the show has done a great job. I guess I don't remember previous seasons, but I feel like all of the recaps leading into an episode do a great job of framing the show or framing the episode. And this one obviously really highlights that. It's helpful when you're basically having one plot line, right? You're not jumping from plot lines. So you can kind of frame everything leading up to what that moment is. And the Tuatha'an, perfect example. It's Perrin doesn't directly quote her later on near the end of the episode, but it's really close when he says, violence only stops when someone says enough. It's not her exact words, but it's very close. So yeah, it's kind of like goes full circle with the way they do that. Yeah.
Yeah, Wolfbrother, for you, like, I know you mentioned early on, you were like, that's not what I expected. Is it, when you say that, was it more from the perspective of like, well, in the books it does X, not what you expected in that sense, or not what you expected from what had come earlier in the season to what you thought was going to be the episode itself?
So, in the aspects of the book, it's not what I expected. But in the aspects of the show, I think that there were things in episodes 2 and 3 that might have been filmed. Maybe I'm wrong, but my theory is were filmed in the Two Rivers, but just got cut, scenes that got cut for time, and we kind of missed some of that world building in there. But in essence of, where you're coming in from, the preview and the setup, it makes sense, because if you think about the books, everything Perrin deals with when we read the books is all internal, right? And so they need a way to make it external and to show it in this forum. Yeah. And so you have the Tuatha'an show up, and you show those scenes of him where you remind us that he is dealing with this inner struggle of the way of the leaf and the very opposite. I'm a Wolfbrother with this instinct to, run with me in this hunt, right? Join me in the hunt, right? And it's a balancing act. And how do you show that in this forum? So, I get where the show's coming from, and I'm following it, and I'm not mad at where the show's taking it.
Yeah,
I'm actually very interested. I have tons of theories rolling around up here.
And so I'm going to ask you about that. I'm kind of curious, like, which one's your top theory. By the way, for those of you watching, we will do calls later. Don't call in now and wait 45 minutes. It'll take us a while to get to calls, but I'll tell you when it's a good time to call in for our call-in line. And I'll end this poll, and we'll throw some other polls up there. Just a reminder from a spoiler perspective in chat for right now. For this first hour, there's about 40 to 50 minutes left of that. We're going to do spoilers up through book 5 and episode 7. Please don't reference episode 8. We kind of jump into that next week. And please don't reference stuff past book 5. Now, in about 45, 50 minutes, we'll go full book spoilers. And so we can kind of jump into maybe some deep theorizing. And so I might save a little bit of those theories if they require us to go too far down to the books for a little bit later. But I just wanted everyone to remember that in chat. I'm going to end this poll. Favorite season 3, episode 7 moment is still that attack on Two Rivers. Yeah, like I totally get that. The attack, I went back when I watched certain scenes. I was like, oh, I missed those details. Like I was watching on a small screen and I watched on a big TV. I do love, when they get into the Two Rivers, right? When they get amongst the buildings, that section of it is a lot of fun. It reminded me of season 1. And one of the things I loved about episode 1 was that last 20 minutes where it's just like really frenetic. You have, trolics attacking, and you have Moraine, defending the town along with Lan, and, the women's circle and everybody else. So they did it. They did that. They just amped it up. I think, twofold as far as what we got. So, but yeah, I mean, one of the things you brought up that I wanted to kind of cover is like the externalizing of Perrin's thoughts into these conflicts, right? And putting them on screen for us, which is like really showing us that conflict openly instead of like having him think through. And he's talking it through often with Faile. He's talking to the Tuatha'an. He's talking to Dain. And you're seeing, and he's talking to his people. And you even get him kind of like, I love how he does the callback, and we'll get back to it, like the Manetheren song, right? Like I love that moment. So really love thinking about it that way, is we got externalized conflicts here all showing up in one moment in the Two Rivers. And so it makes it much more interesting to kind of like now break that down. We see that, like you brought up the Tuatha'an, and I kind of want to watch that moment when they come in. I do like when there's like the trolic thing. That was just kind of that felt like a little bit of a nod to, right, the Two Rivers, just kind of being a little bit paranoid about, yeah. Paranoid naive. About, yes, like the Nynaeve grabbing the knife in the season 1 episode 1. That will never, like, you go back and watch it, it's so funny. She's just so upset and ready to take down Moraine and Lan in that first episode. So yeah, let's watch this piece. And Silvertooth, I'm kind of curious how you felt about the Tuatha'an coming in here and what kind of transpired between Perrin and Ilian and Perrin.
And our wolves. Aaron. Perrin.
What are you doing here?
I came home. What happened to you? Where's Ryan?
Trollocs. Last night.
How far outside town were you?
Only a few miles. And it wasn't just us. There are people from all around the Two Rivers. We could use some water.
Okay, we got Chafael. We have to get back to that later. Silvertooth, tell me what you're thinking about that moment. What did they accomplish? Like, what did you notice that maybe this time, or kind of center on when you saw this interaction between Perrin and the Tuatha'an?
So I thought it was a nice little reunion. Obviously, when it first happens, obviously again, then you talk about Rain dying, but you can already see Aaron's struggles just in that scene. Like you see, they pronounce them more and more as the episode goes, but you can already kind of see Aaron struggling with the fact that his grandfather was killed. And obviously later on, he clearly starts to question things. So I liked that little nod. I mean, nice little scene. I think further on when they talk more, gets more into depth into what I'm talking about. But
I liked the connection between her staring at the axe and that walk that they did early on in like episode 3 or 4, I can't remember, where she said, like, have these as an act, have these basically made your life better?
Right.
And so you see that moment where he has this axe, and it's like, yeah, so we just lost Rin, to trolics, right? And they're coming here for safety. And here's Perrin, someone that she talked to, and it's like, has this ever made your life better? Well, it's like he, protecting his people, is that making his life better, right? That question that she asked him seemed like that ideal that she held, right? It's under stress, in this moment of their sadness, right? And it's like, is it better? Is his life better? Well, is their life better because they're being protected or not? And so I like that it's setting up that question again for us, but it's giving us different context for it. So,
and from like the show perspective, like the kind of the full circle from episode 4 and Rand's visions, or Rand's past lives. Same idea of, you see someone who truly lives the way of the leaf, and then those that struggle with it. So,
yeah.
What else is there?
Right. Well, you get a lot of that Meridian kind of piece shows back up in this episode, and that's why I like that they're kind of showing us like modern day, like today, that same question, right?
I mean, even Bane and Chiad like spitting after the Tuatha'an walk away, right? Like just those little things, it makes a difference. And
I didn't even think about that. Like they're walking in, but they keep their distance, right?
Mm-hmm.
they didn't walk right next to it. Like they kind of kept their distance as they came in.
Perrin said nobody runs faster than Tinker.
Yeah, I was like,
the Iola and then Bane and Chiad were just like, what?
They clear their throats. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice the clear the throat thing. Okay. Yeah. Shoot. No, I heard that line and I was like, is that typically what you would tell the Tinkers or the Tuatha'an? No, this, and then he obviously gets this moment where he sees them, and then Faile and Bane and Chiad come in, and they're confirming, right? And I like that they kind of gave us that, like, who's leading in that moment? Faile, right? Like they're starting us down that road of Faile and the maidens really connecting. I mean, they gave us a little bit of that before, where they were like, where she's like, "I'm going," and he's like, "No, you're not," and she's like, "No, I am going," and she's like, they're like, "Yeah, she's going," which I thought was really cool. Shansony said Bane and Chiad were total scene stealers this episode. Yeah, it was pretty fun. I agree. They were so good. Agreed. Yeah. And let's see this. And Dana, thank you very much for the tip. Said I really enjoyed the connection between Faile and Perrin. I also love how he said to Dain what his father said about the Shanchan. You do it because it's right. Yeah, that's really good.
That's a deep callback, right? That was was it episode 7 or 8? It's cold open, right? That's what that came from of season 2.
Of season 2, it's
when Dane's talking to his dad about, and
yeah, I feel like
I think it's episode 8, right?
Yeah.
It was the cold open to episode 8. Yeah, no, I just made that connection now. That's fantastic. Like, do it because it's right.
Yeah. Lightblind and Fool, by the way, said, thank you very much for the tip. Absolutely loved Senbui muttering about trolics in their wagon. I couldn't stop laughing. Yeah, did you like the little... I have to ask this question. Senbui, is he, was he extra enough? Was he the right amount of extra? Was that a good Senbui for you, Wolfbrother?
Yeah, I think... a little more grumpy, but good enough.
I think it worked for the show. I mean, it's a nod to the book fans, obviously.
Yeah.
They didn't even need to, but there's a lot of that. I feel
they
like
don't
in
need
this
to
episode.
do it.
Yeah. There's quite a few of that, and quite a few of those things in this episode, which also makes me question. We'll talk about that when we go into full book spoilers, but whether or not Two Rivers feet, well, again, we'll talk about that later, but it just kind of I like the little nods, even if it was a little much. But
do you agree? Lightblind and Fool said they made me like Senbui too much. That's my only complaint. Did you really like? Actually, Senbui's got a point. He smiled too much. That's hilarious. call out to you.
Probably
hold the
true.
line. Yeah.
Senbui doesn't smile, does he?
Yeah, there was. It was. By the way, I asked this question. 76% right now, with 100 of you voting, are Senbui is the right amount of extra in the show. There you go. One of the main kind of moments that comes up, and I want to, this is one you mentioned. We'll show this one here really quick with the Aiel as Perrin's talking to, to the Tuatha'an.
And your wagons will fill again.
Perhaps there's hope for you yet.
He's handsome. That tinker boy, for a coward.
I don't think he'd like that.
She wouldn't try it. Loial would dirty herself with a lost one.
Yeah, a good amount of, again, good reminder that, like, just because Rand went back and saw what he saw, it doesn't mean, like, at this point that anything's changed in how they view them.
Yeah, and it probably sets up the next episode too. So, to an extent.
Yeah, well, it's.
Oh yeah, you know what the next episode's about? Sorry.
Well.
Yeah. No jumping into the next episode. But yes, no, we can talk about that as in maybe when we get to theories. No, I don't want to theorize about episode 8 just yet. But no, what I liked about that was, again, focusing on what everyone expects of Perrin in this moment, right? He's sitting down. He's trying to comfort Elia, he's trying to kind of like be positive and optimistic. Like, you're going to be fine, the way you live. And she's like, yeah, maybe you're going to be okay. And you see Faile like, what do you mean? Like, there's hope. There's always been hope for this guy. Like, stop putting on your, what you want from him. And everyone wants something from Perrin in this episode, right?
And that's where I come from. Like, what this episode does is it takes his internal thoughts and makes them external, right? Like, he wants to please the Tuatha'an, he wants to please Faile, and he wants to protect his people, right? And there's no, like, if you protect your people, you're not satisfying one party, right? There's no way to satisfy all parties, and it's that balance, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. He's trying to find that, which is tough. Like, the entire episode of, like, what is he saying? Is he enough of a leader? Is he enough? Is he helping the Tuatha'an enough? Is he supporting his friend? Like, when Loial was like, okay, I'm going to go do this, and he's like, wait, right? He wants to go. He wants to go with him, right? Yeah. I want to go with you, and he's like, well, no, you can't go with me. You can't be everywhere and everything, and they need you the most here. And him coming down understanding.
But spoilers.
Okay. Yeah. I want to watch this interaction with Dain, because it's another aspect of somebody that wants something from Perrin that they give us focus on. So let's watch this one.
What if we killed him right here?
We need their help to stand a chance against the trolics. They have 200 men on Watch Hill, trained. I mean it, Faile.
Two Rivers.
Child Bornholm.
Admirable work. Trying to keep our patrols out.
The opposite. I'm asking you to join us against the trolics. Hundreds, just over these hills.
Surely your scouts have seen them.
They say a dozen at most.
I bet your camp is as filled with refugees as our village. Does that sound like dozens to you? The trolics have come here to destroy us. And they'll attack tonight.
You know a lot about these trolls.
I like how she's just ready. She's like, I'm gonna
don't get too close to my man.
Yeah. He's Perrin's still working Dain. He's really Perrin. What they're showing is that he really believes in people, and really believes that they can change. And and he's trying to get Dain there with him. I like Chris's comment here. One way he balances choosing to fight Shadowspawn but surrender to Dain to stop the cycle of violence, right? He fights and then surrenders, right? He's trying to figure out what is the right way to address this. Ninja Librarian said, Dain just will not put down that flask. It's a signal to remind us he is just not the good guy he thinks he is. Definitely, traumatized, 100%.
Yes, yeah.
Like, what do you and how do you feel about how Perrin is interacting with Dain at this point, right? That he's given him the time of day.
I think this is one of my favorite scenes, honestly, because I think it was a good nod to the books too, because again, not exactly the same, but it's a similar conversation where he essentially offers to turn himself in. So I really enjoyed it, and it really obviously you didn't play the whole clip, but it really they go on and he balances out the your violence doesn't stop my violence, and it's going to keep going. And again, then he gets it's the right thing to do scenario. So I really enjoyed it, and like we talked about a little bit before, Wolfbrother agrees. I love Showdown.
More Dain, please. Need more Dain.
This damn show and making us like characters we hated from the books, but Showdown is done very well.
Showdown, yeah. And by the way, Jiraiya's mom said he's grieving. Yeah, I mean, and that I think they've done that really well. Is brought out kind of the human aspect of each of these connections and relationships, and it's like, well, yeah, what do you expect Dain to be feeling when basically he witnessed?
He's a Whitecloak. Right? He doesn't have any feelings. But oh my gosh, Dain is fantastic, and I love every scene that Perrin and Dain have. I have loved.
Well, let's finish this one then. Let's
trust that's easy
continue
enough.
This one.
Rivers. You murdered my father.
Oops, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Two Rivers.
Truly, I am. And are you sorry for what you did to Natty Cawthon? An innocent woman burned alive in your camp when she was already prisoner. She was a witch. No, she wasn't. She died for your grief. Like your father died for mine. Where does this all stop?
When the light's justice is done.
Letting the two rivers be slaughtered isn't justice. It's not even revenge. It's a betrayal of everything you claim to stand for. What your father stood for.
My father fought for the light. Two Rivers. Why? Why should we fight for you?
Because it's the right thing to do. Look, you come to the Two Rivers. You help us. And I'll go with you when the battle's done. To face your light's justice.
So I mean, I want to stop that. Like, so there was like there's an aspect of the book side where we're like, but we know what's actually going to happen in this moment, right? Like Wolfbrother, we were there. We're like, okay, yeah, Perrin, you're going to say this, but
right.
You know the Whitecloaks aren't going to deliver. So, but there's an aspect to Perrin, right? He was, there's just an honesty and Perrin's sense of what's right and wrong, and that was called into question. Like early on, right? And he's been trying to regain that. Like, what is the right, like, I thought I knew what it was, but what does right and wrong mean now in this context? But this is something he's very serious about. Were you expecting them to make that twist, or did that twist like surprise you?
You mean at the end?
Episode? Yeah, at the end of the episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like, so the moment I saw Dain start to fight in the Two Rivers, I was like,
you're like, ah.
Okay, something's going on here. And I'm like, how are they going to play this out? What excuse are they going to use?
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the rest of the episode, and I watched it, and but in the back of my mind, I'm like, but they fought.
Yep.
He doesn't have that cop out now. Like, what rationale are they going to use? And at the end of the episode, he walks away, and I am not mad. This is what Perrin needs to do because it is what is right. And he does what is right. And I know it's not what we expected, but he's doing what's right. And I am all about okay, what's going to happen now? I'm invested. I want to know. I don't know what's going on. And so I'm excited because it's not what I know.
Yeah,
that's my take. That's my take.
Yeah. I mean, and Dana Liu agrees. That's the thesis of this episode. Dana Liu said because it is the right thing to do. Rant on more. I missed his comment up here. Let me see if I can go find it. He said the right thing is worth doing. Right. This is one of those moments. He's sometimes we get Perrin, just make a choice. Just make a choice, and he made this choice, and we're like, not that choice. There's an aspect of that, but he made this commitment, and the Whitecloaks fought, and they kind of set us up, right? They set us up narratively. They're just like, the Whitecloaks fought. What do you think Perrin, who you know from reading and following the story, what would Perrin do in this moment? He would do this exact thing,
right? 100%.
And yeah, go ahead.
I did wonder if the cop out was going to be you led the Trollics here, you led Dain, or you led Faile here, you led the Trollics here. I wouldn't have liked that as much as what they did.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, okay, that's going to be the cop out.
Yeah, and it's believable, right? You can make all sorts of rationale.
Right, and that would have continued the animosity between the two, right? So you could have kind of kept the story the same in that regards. I depending on where it goes from here, right? Again, not to speculate too much into hopefully next season.
I got theories.
But okay, where does the story go from here? None of us know because that's not what the story was. And again, I'm okay with that. But I'm very intrigued. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to dive into that. Give it about 20 more minutes, everyone. We'll dive in, full book spoilers. But yeah, it's intriguing in the sense of that they changed this moment, and I do believe it was the right choice, actually. And we'll get to maybe why that is. And so I want to end this poll. Over 200 of you vote on this. Send Bowie. 75% of you. He was the right amount of extra. So yeah, they seem to have hit well with at least this audience on Send Bowie. I want to ask...
more grumpiness. More grumpiness.
Was this the right decision? Or do you agree with the decision to have the Whitecloaks fight with the Two River folk?
And if you don't, you're a dark friend.
I think it's I think it was the right change for the setup that they've been giving us with Dain and Perrin. I think we would go back and watch season 2 and see this relationship and what's happening here, and really appreciate this moment between the two of them even more.
And again, I think that's the setup too, though, because same thing in the books, Perrin doesn't kill Jeff from Bornholm. So it's a much different dynamic than Perrin killed 2 random Whitecloaks, right?
Yep.
He killed Dain's dad. That is a much different. That's you can't get past that nearly as easily as you can the other.
Well, I mean, and before Dain thought he had, right? He thought he was responsible.
Did.
He thought he was responsible.
But
this is
the show,
straight
he witnesses
up, right?
it happen.
Yeah.
But also in the books, we have Pat and Faile there from the beginning in the Two Rivers. They're with the Whitecloaks from a very early on point, painting the Whitecloaks, which is not something we see in the show. Now, he does show up but it's more under a guise of like
he's another Whitecloak.
He's another Whitecloak, right? It's not like he has this evilness or whatever emanating from him that's affecting others, right? That's not. You can argue that that's not existent. That it doesn't exist in the shows right now. So, would you, in that aspect, with Whitecloaks not being tainted, expect them to go? If you're in the books and Whitecloaks aren't tainted by this evilness, do you expect them to act the same way as they did in the books? Because it was surprising to me in the books that they don't fight the trolics. After fighting the trolics in little hordes, but not in this great battle. So
the books harp way more on, though, that Perrin's a dark friend. Like that is the Whitecloaks believe vehemently that Perrin is a dark friend. That is, so therefore he brought the trolics to the Two Rivers. They're not going to help him fight. All of that part.
But the Whitecloaks were fighting off trolics when they were in the Two Rivers before Perrin got there.
Right.
And we know that.
Right.
So yeah,
if I'm being too confrontational, tell me.
No. And I know I see a lot of people in chat, and I saw some comments there. We're going to get to that full discussion here soon. So let's maybe step away from this one because it's a harder one to, I think, acknowledging it and really seeing what the underlying proposition was of what they were trying to accomplish. By the way, 100 and almost 50 of you voted on this. I'm actually surprised by this. 92% are agreeing with, do you agree with the decision to have the Whitecloaks fight with the Two River folk? That's I wonder what that would have been this morning, asking that same question for like people that maybe have thought about it a little bit. And I wonder if that would have been different. So, this is one of the, like you said, Wolfbrother, like, yes, if that's the change, then Perrin is definitely going with them. And so it does, the payoff on that is brutal, but it's good, right? It's, man, he's walking away with them. They just won this and he's walking away with them. And that's not right. And I like that it leaves us unsettled. Like, I like being unsettled in that moment because you're like, wait, but Perrin, you can't do the right thing that I don't want you to do, right? You see it in Faile's face. You see it in the face of like a lot of the villagers like, yeah, we get the right thing, but that's just something you do casually every once in a while. And so really setting up Perrin this way, I think was really, really good. I want to jump into a different storyline and see what your reactions were to it. Let's talk about the Waygate storyline and Loial. And I want to watch this moment because I didn't notice this until like the second time I watched because I didn't know where they were going with this. And I think him writing in the book, his journal, right, and having the, chatter with Bane and Chiad here, you see something change in him. And it's really, I want to talk about like, what is it and what do you think it, theorize like what's going on here. So here you go. Enjoy.
What does that mean, after King?
It's a name. Dain Althorin, the last king of Menetherin who died fighting the trolics, right here.
Althorin, like Randall Thor. The Karakarn.
Okay, I mean, I'm gonna go back and watch this again.
It's a name. Dain Althorin, the last king of Menetherin who died fighting the trolics, right here.
Althorin, like Randall Thor. The Karakarn.
Okay, so watching, because sometimes Loial can always be this like character that's like, yeah, he's a little comic relief because he just thinks differently. He just he left his home or kind of getting away from some responsibility. A little bit human of him to kind of leave his steading.
He's a teenager.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
A 90-year-old teenager.
This is like one of those moments where I really love because I love that they really gave him more to do than just be that kind of character that follows along and is like taking notes and you know, a little bit of, like I said, comic relief, and really kind of dug in here. What did you notice? So what was the reaction? Like, how do you interpret the reaction that he had to telling that story and then having Bane and Chiad talk about, like, wait a second, that sounds like Rand al'Thor, right? This is Manetheren. That's where the king, you know, the Trollocs attacked, the king died, you know, like, and that's the same spot. And Rand al'Thor, wait a second. What, like, Silvertooth, what do you think he's thinking in this moment?
So I obviously didn't catch it on the first watch because you don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, on the rewatch, especially his pause and his, you know, he's clearly thinking about something. My guess would be, I would interpret that as, oh yeah, these are Aiel. They came here in search of the Carakarns. I need to release them of this duty they feel to me so that they can return to the other Aiel, because they came here for the Carakarn. That was the purpose of them coming across the spine. So I think on the rewatch, I interpret it that way.
Do you think that he believes they're going to all die? As in, do you think that he is thinking that this is another, right? This is the Trollocs are attacking again, and he's trying to kind of let them go because he believes that this might be the end for them here in Manetheren again.
I think for sure he thinks he's not going to make it in that moment. But yeah, I mean, yeah, the, you know, the nature of what he's writing. Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
Now, one of the other thoughts I had was, what does he immediately do after this moment, right? Where does he know that he's going to go? I can't remember if it's because if they talk about it and then he decides to go to the Waygate. But I kind of wonder if a little bit of this is the Trollocs attacked before. How can we stop the Trollocs from attacking again? And if there's a little bit of a kind of acknowledgement in his head, like if he's already starting to come up with a plan. And
Right.
so that's what kind of that kind of hit me, is like, is he recognizing what he might have to do? And if he does, will they want to go with him? And is that what he's trying to get them out of? Anyway,
Right.
Wolfbrother, I don't know
I
if
see
you
that.
saw that kind of
No.
like thought
Same,
process.
like he's trying to get them out of their pact or their, you know, their toe,
Obligation.
I guess, obligation to him. I think he knows deep down, right? Like, there's something I can do, and this is what I can do to help the Two Rivers. And so I think he knows exactly what he's going to be doing here. Well, not exactly, but I know he's like, we got to stop him off at the pass, right? And the pass is not the pass; it's the Waygate. And so he's already formulating a plan. So I agree with you, Matt. Like he knows what's up. Yeah, look.
Yeah, that was my fellow innkeeper's like, he knew. I want to ask everybody that. About 200 of you voted on the last poll. Do you agree with the decision to have the Whitecloaks fight with the Two River folk? 88% of you are at yes on this one. Yeah, I actually do agree with it. I think because I believe, and I expressed like a theory early this morning about this. I'll bring it back up about what I think they were trying to do. And by the way, we had a chance to interview Taylor Napier earlier. When was it? It was like 2 days ago. We're going to make time, whether or not it's like near to the end. I know we want to, like, it's an 8-minute interview. We'll find a spot as we talk about him and his relationship with Alana. That'll be coming up here. And so when we find that spot, we'll watch that interview. I think it was a lot of fun. It was good to chat with him. So
I'd just like to point out that every time you start off the show, you say, "Hey, we're back at the Dusty Wheel," right?
Yeah.
Like, not even 24 hours ago, or maybe 24 hours ago, right? You did a 3 or 4 hour live stream, and then Innkeeper Anas did another live stream. Like, you're back, but are you ever really gone? You guys are doing so much stuff, and I appreciate you guys for everything you're doing, especially during, season rollout. You say you're back, but you're here like 24/7. So
I mean, when you think about it, you could have just had Brian the Gleeman pop in for the times that you weren't on. Just,
exactly right.
Just never go off.
Eventually, hopefully, that my hope is like more seasons, and we get to do lots more trailer guide-ons. We get to do more of these, and maybe we can be live even more than we are. No, this is Wednesday, Thursdays, man. For these last like 5 or 6 weeks have been crazy. I mean, honestly, for the last 2 or 3 months. But yeah, no, it's this has been fun. Again, I love that we go live during the live watch, and then we come back later this evening and talk about it because I've had a lot of time to kind of just chew through some ideas, digest it. I'm going to ask everybody, did Loial know he was going to the Waygate, or was he, I'll just say, was Loial planning on going to the Waygate in this moment? Yes or no? Yeah, and this the moment I'm talking about is the one right here. Although this is him trying to use his Ogier understanding of this is like, I'm going to get him to play Maiden's Kiss, and then release them from their from the toe. So, and then that'll be part of my plan I'm coming up with, which they countered his plan. And maybe this is a good time. And by the way, saw some Taishar, Dusty Will. Yeah, thank you guys. Again, we love doing this. We love chatting with everybody. We love kind of being a place where fans can come and have a good discussion about what we're seeing on the show. This is shortly after this moment, and I actually really, really like this scene and what Maxime and Alana are giving us to understand about like how the relationship is evolving this season. So let's watch that.
Or fresh figs.
Figs. Thank the light.
So, are you going to ask me?
Ask you what?
To turn off the bond again. The battle won't start for a while. You'll get a few hours of peace.
Keep it on. If tonight's going to be our last night together, I don't want to miss any bit of you. And I wasn't lying about the figs. Look at one my students gave me.
You bitch!
Can you feel it? Through the bond. How much I'm enjoying it. Yeah. That's what he used to do. You and I are making something new.
I love that, but you and I are going to make something new. Yeah, sorry, Wolfbrother, you were thinking something.
My only wish for this scene is I was hoping that Perrin and Faile would walk up the stairs and say, "Hey, we need something."
Oh, right in the midst of it, kind of like they walked down into Perrin and Faile.
But I 100% like the deeper meeting. Like, oh man, like they're building something new, and
yeah, exactly. And what I like is, again, these arcs that they're creating and the stories about, like, you can go back to season 1 and see what's developed between these two. I had a chance, like I said, to talk to Taylor Napier. I think this is a good opportunity to kind of watch that interview. And by the way, everybody in chat, follow what the mods are saying. Again, always follow what the mods are saying. Because if you don't, they just kick you out. And
I will visit you in the dream and make it a nightmare.
But I did ask him about his, like, this the evolving relationship this season. So instead of like, I think it's a good kind of framing for a discussion of these two and kind of what role they played in this episode. So yeah, enjoy this, everyone. 1 second. I didn't have it queued up, just to like be patient.
Awesome. It's
okay. Here we go. Enjoy.
It's been almost. I mean, it was at least for the last time you were at the Dusty Wheel was like almost 3.5 years ago. You came in.
It was season 1, right?
Yeah.
It was. I was in our apartment in Prague, doing that. So yeah, season 1.
It's wild, and it was like during the season. It was like crazy. We were like, oh man, it's weird to think.
Yeah, we were shooting season 2, while season 1 was airing. So there was a lot of trying to remember what happened during season 1 and where the audience was at that point versus what was happening currently to Maxim in that season.
Well, I went back and like watched it, and I was like, oh, some questions I asked you. I was like, okay, now that I've seen season 2 and seen season 3, there's some stuff I want to kind of dig back in there. I mean, one of those we talked about was, about what this idea of a water bond and. In real life, like, was there something about it that you wouldn't enjoy? And you were like, well, the cool fighting stuff and enhanced abilities, you'd love that. But you said this, and it just hit different. You said, but the sadness and residual depression would be tough.
Yeah.
I was curious.
That's probably true.
That's what I'm saying. Like
this season,
that like I was like, oh man, like we just saw some scenes where that's just very very obvious in this entire season, right? In what ways would you say that Maxim has been forever changed by this particular experience?
Oh, I think he's a completely different person by the end of the season. I think he goes into season 3. You see a little bit maybe with that one scene that he and Alana had at the end of season 2, but he goes into season 3 sort of right before this big thing with Leandrin at the start, feeling, the world's still pretty great. They still love each other. They still are doing their thing with, the food and the lovemaking and all that good stuff. And the stakes aren't very high for them because Alana can heal anything that happens in battle, and there's nothing really that can, Alana's pretty powerful. There's nothing really that can take her down, especially. And so I think that by the end of the season, he realizes what the stakes are, and I think there's, I think there's a real growing up of him in this season. He's this kind of, I said in another interview, but I'll say it again here. He's like, it's his adolescence. You're seeing his teenage years almost. He's realizing what his responsibilities are, even though he's a little older than a teen. You're seeing what his responsibilities are. He's learning what his responsibilities are as a warder outside of just being in love with Ivan and Alana, and that this is really dangerous and that people will die. Ivan just did. And that the stakes are high. And initially, I think for anyone who's kind of walked into this, I think he understood what the assignment is. We all understand, logically what going to war means, but until you're actually like next to a dead body, I think it's hard to emotionally grasp what that feeling is. And so I think that's where he's at in the middle part of the season. And by the time, Alana's healed and we're in this battle at the end, he's accepted his place in it. He's accepted that Alana's going to be this badass general and she's going to rush headstrong into these battles. And the best thing that he can do is be by her side and to try to support her to keep her alive, because that's become his entire world. And he does truly, I think, love her.
Yeah, that gives a different kind of texture to the, what we just saw in episode 6, and kind of what that changes as he's sitting next to her bedside in that moment. Yeah. I mean, it certainly is a change, right? Like we go back to, if we go back all the way to the first season, was like, Maxim's the fun warder. One of the
his first line is his first line is, except me, of course, I look fun. Yeah. I think he's still fun. I think he still has a sense of humor, but I think he's found some weight. He's found some ground, or has rooted himself a little bit more by the end of the season.
I mean, he does. He does. That whole like Baker Boy comment was pretty hilarious.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
But one thing you said to me that I think is so different. I'm curious from a just preparation standpoint, how you prepared for this moment. You were like, yeah, obviously Ivan, Maxim, Alana, we balance each other out. Ivan is dead, and that balance is gone. Like, what was your preparation for this idea of a warder who has lost that bond but still maintains a bond with his Aes Sedai? Like, what was the preparation to kind of bring that across to the screen of what that experience would be like? I mean, it's fantasy, right? But how did you get there?
Yeah. I think, Priyanka and I talked a lot about grief, and I think it's one of the things, obviously, there's a lot in this season about grief, and I actually think it's one of the most beautiful things in this season is, everyone in the Two Rivers is grieving. Perrin's grieving. Alana and Maxim are grieving. Loial is grieving kind of with a longing in a way. The people of the Two Rivers are grieving because they've been attacked so much. Everyone is grieving. And so everyone's trying to work through their grief. For me as an actor, personally, I've experienced loss in my life. And so I think the first place you always go, or at least I always go, is, what can I grab onto? What is that feeling? How do I bring that to the forefront and then apply it to this setting? And so thinking about my own life and also working with Priyanka, and also, sometimes it's really helpful when you're acting, and that if a character dies, that actor's no longer there, and so suddenly it's just Priyanka and I in scenes, and we have to figure out what our dynamic is, as two people co-working. And we didn't go through quite the growing pains that Maxime and Alana went to. We've always been friendly, but there's different things to navigate. There's different responsibilities that I take on as her scene partner, and she takes on as my scene partner directly in scenes that are that intense and that vulnerable for both of us.
Yeah,
especially when someone breaks down in a scene, it can be very. They're going through something. Like Priyanka, when Ivan dies, is like sitting there crying, and she's literally in my arms crying, waiting for them to say action. And there's your natural human kind of instinct kicks in, and you want to comfort them. Yeah. So I think it's also
all those things
together. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I have a chance for one more question here. I got to go, but give me. I love asking the actors this. What are 3 words to describe where Maxim is at the end of season 3?
Reflective, mature, or more mature, and content.
Okay.
Yeah,
and it's good seeing you again, and I can't believe we're almost at the end of season 3, man. And hope it's going well today, and hopefully we'll see you again.
Yeah, I would love to talk to you again. Thanks, man.
See you. Yeah, bye. Yeah, a really fun opportunity to chat with him about that and how he perceives that that change that they were going through and putting on the screen. Like Silvertooth, for you, like actually getting the Alana storyline coming into Two Rivers and what it's become at this point. I want to ask you about that. But before you answer that question, we are going to go full book spoilers. For those of you that were here with us that are, don't want any spoilers past at least book 5, I just invite you to kind of, come back, see us later. And hopefully you enjoyed that, being able to see that interview before we jumped into full book spoilers. I'm glad that kind of worked out as it did. But we want to give you a little bit of space to step away before we kind of jump in, because we will start talking about things that happen beyond book 5. So I'll take that warning, that note down. Again, we're only going through episode 7. Please don't bring up episode 8 information that you've gathered out there. We want to talk about this episode itself. So I think that's enough of a warning for those that kind of can step away. Yeah, maybe jump into, tell me what you thought about how they've developed the Alana storyline as it relates to the Two Rivers and what we saw this episode.
I'm really enjoying it. I mean, ultimately, obviously, different from the books in that obviously Varen is supposed to be there. Um, we still have her fresh off of losing a warder and dealing with that.
Yep.
So I mean, there's still parallels there. I overall like what they're doing. I really loved the scene you played right before the interview. It just really I think it was a good moment of them, like you said, they're kind of turning and yes, that too. But they're kind of turning a new leaf, right? Like,
yeah.
There was obviously some issues.
Pun intended. Little leaf.
My screen froze. Can you still hear me?
We can still hear you. You are kind of like getting like spotty a little bit. Come back,
baby, come back.
While Silvertooth figures that out. Oh, are you back? You're kind of there. We can hear you. You're moving. You're moving. You're good.
I will. If it's working, I will.
You're
I'll
stabilized.
Stay on. If not, I'll pop out and jump back in.
No, it's working. It's working. So sorry, I know that interrupted what you were saying, but keep going.
Just basically that I like how this kind of showed that that they turned a new leaf. They had a rocky point there, whatever episode that was, episode 5, I believe, where it really came to a head and he left. And obviously this was a good episode to show them repairing that relationship and what it's going to be moving forward. Now, full book spoilers.
Yeah.
I believe this episode made me believe they're not going to do the thing that the fans don't want them to do. In the Force bond.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that that's going to? Do you think they're going to play this out with the Alana storyline? Do you think that's why they've showed us this loss, or do you think that they're changing that? Like, what do you anticipate?
I would think they're going to change it, mostly because in the books she's still really dealing with the loss of her warder. That's a major contributing factor to why she does what she does. It's obviously not the only reason. I mean, he's the Dragon Reborn, right? Like, there are other reasons, but I think a major contributing factor is that she's still really dealing with the loss of her warder, even though it had been a lot of time. They show that in the books that she's still dealing with that, and that's not going to be the case in the show. You could make the argument she's still dealing with it, but I think not in the same way as the books. I think it would be an odd choice, in my opinion, if they still did it. Where there was a fan theory that it was going to be Perrin. I'm glad that didn't happen.
You're like, thank goodness.
Okay,
yes.
so I think. Oh, okay. Sorry, there's a lot of theories and nothing coalesces just yet. But my theory is that Faile, Bane, and Chia go after Perrin at this point in time. But there's still the possibility that Maxime and Alana go after him, and Alana could still bond Perrin. I think that's less likely after what she was talking about to the Coffin girls, and so I'm a little bit. I'm left wondering, what is her role going to be? And I can't see her going after. Yeah, Faile would stab her. And they could bring her back for a third time with the girls healing her. But I'm invested. I really like the continuation of the exploration of the Warder Bond and the Aes Sedai. We got that with that one episode in season 1, with Steppen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a continuing theme, and I think that's going to play very well into a Lan Moraine storyline that I won't mention further. So I think it sets.
it's full book spoilers. I mean, you can bring
right,
up
but I also I don't want to get into speculation of episode 8 because
gotcha. Oh yes, yeah.
So
right.
and not saying that that's where episode 8's going. It's just theory, but I think with the Step in episode, they've really harped on this relationship between Aes Sedai and Warder, and I think it's all going to come to a head somewhere, and I think that's that point, right, with our beloved Lana Moraine. But yeah, I'll stop there. We'll go. Yeah, but I enjoyed. I've enjoyed the Alana. And to be honest with you, I think my favorite scene with Alana this season was with Perrin at the cherry blossoms.
That was a good one.
Grove or whatever you call that.
Yeah.
So I've enjoyed that storyline, and it's been a pull for me. Like I'm interested to see where this is going.
Yeah. By the way, in this poll, was Loial planning on going to the Waygate in this moment that we talked about 20 minutes ago? 230 of you basically voted on this. 88% of you are in agreement. Yeah, like that didn't hit me again until I saw it for the second time, and really, like that's where I'm at. Like, okay, maybe he was really conceptualizing like what was going to happen and what he could do to stop it. How can Loial in this moment, like, participate and be part of stopping the Trollocs again from destroying? Basically, what maybe Loial was seeing was the beginning of Manetheren, right? And not like having again here in this moment, and not having the Trollocs destroy it again. Like, so this idea, I like that he was thinking, or it seems like they have him thinking that way, and to me it changes what happens later, and we'll get to that. So let me ask this question. Will Alana bond anyone else in future seasons? And we're gonna say yes.
Wait.
Yes, Rand. Yes, Perrin. Who else do you want me to put on this list for people? Like, is there someone else that she could bond among the people we know?
Matt, I guess, but that would seem odd.
Not that she would, but could she bond one of the Cawthon sisters?
Oh, like I don't know if that would like.
I don't know where. It's just very
I'm gonna throw this one on.
They've protected her. They've protected her. Could she just like, hey, I'm gonna bond you?
Like people are putting out Lan, Aram.
Ooh, Lan's good. I don't think I would do Lan before anybody else.
I like Justin's Senbui.
Well,
clearly it's Senbui.
Lan was a fan theory that she would essentially replace Myrell.
Like that's already been
right
done.
On that?
Like it's already been done, is what you're saying.
Yes, the way they did it in the books with I'm blanking on the Aes Sedai. I think I want to say Myrell or something like that.
Are you sure it doesn't begin with an S? The Aes Sedai?
That's a good guess. You know.
Gawain and
very
Glad.
likely to be right.
Oh no,
the baker boy, Will Alcine.
Did anybody actually get credited with the name Will Alcine or no?
Yes.
No, did they? I can't remember.
Yeah, he's so the two people that are in the smithy with Perrin. One is Will Alcine, and the other I think is his father. It's credited in IMDb. I don't remember the name, but one of them is Will Alcine, the younger one.
Okay, you have to. I'm not giving you any I'll do this way. If Alana bonds anyone else or has a bond past or in future seasons, who would it be? And those are your four options, everybody. Rand, Perrin, Lan, Aram, and if you just don't like any of those four options, you don't have to answer. That's okay. It'll be interesting to see, regardless of how you think it comes about. It's just like whether or not it's consent or not. Will it happen? And that's the real question: is do you believe that they're still going that way from what you've seen so far in these first 3 seasons? Go ahead.
Sorry, this is too touchy. Stop me. But you said that the fandom doesn't want to see. Like, I want to see it, even though it's not right.
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying regardless if you want to see it or not. That's what I mean. Like,
got it. Okay.
Yeah. Like, no, it
brings up interesting topics.
There is a big part of the fandom though that does not want to see it because they were so opposed to it in the books.
I agree.
Well, I mean,
with that,
look what Swan. You look at Swan and Moraine.
Yeah.
That moment. You remember at the end of episode 7 in season 2. Right, that stirred a lot of conversation, right, about like what Swan did there with the bond, right? You know, and kind of forcing Moraine to close the portal. Do I think that they're going to tackle some of these topics that come out of the books differently? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to change them up, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily. I think they're going to take away the entire idea that. That every single one of these things, that they're done with the bond are always consent driven. Then I don't know that I believe they'll always apply kind of some of our own awareness of issues on the story itself in that way. So I'll be interested to see what they've done, and they haven't done that for everything in the story so far. So, by the way, not surprised, 150 of you have voted in the last minute. It's awesome to have you guys here. And so far, Rand is who everyone believes will. It's shocking that you would say that.
Yeah, I mean, if she's going to bond
enlightening, you might say
it should be Rand if she's going to do it. But
yes, I agree. Sorry, I'm trying to catch. Did we later, Chris? Chris, if you're out there, man, good to see you. If you have to take off. Gotta go. Faile demanding Perrin respect Layla's and Faile's choice. Yeah, we were about to get to that, and then Perrin demanding she respect his choice not to. So, yeah, this one comes full circle in the same episode. So let's jump into Perrin and Faile's relationship, which we really haven't talked too much about. So here we go. Enjoy this moment.
Someone take those knives out of your sleeves.
You're no fun when you're waiting to die. It's all right to be afraid before a battle. My father always is. And he's fought dozens of them.
Are you afraid?
Of course not. Not a big baby.
Dying doesn't scare me. It's what comes before that. I keep seeing their faces. Looking at me when they realize I led them to their death.
Without you, it would be worse. They wouldn't have fought at all.
No, they have to. This is their home. But it's not yours. So why are you fighting for it? I know it isn't just because of me.
Maybe it's because you question that. And most men wouldn't. Maybe it's because your friend blew the horn, stealing my shot at glory. Or maybe it's because I like lost causes. Point is, I'm here. Lucky for you.
I don't want to see you die.
You won't? I'll last longer than you.
Serious? Look, if you care about me, then leave now. While you still can. Please.
It depends. Are you sending me away because you're scared that axe will end up in me? Same as your wife?
Enough! It's too far, Faile. Gonna... I mean it, just leave!
Try and make me! Maybe then you'll see I don't need saving. I choose to fight. Just like everyone here is. Just like your wife did. We deserve respect before battle and honor after it. Save your guilt for the enemies that escaped.
Yeah, great scene. I'm watching all the chat. It's really fun to kind of be listening to the scene and seeing how people are kind of reacting to it still in this moment. One of the things Wolfbrother comes across here is, and there's plenty of fans of Faile. There's plenty of fans that are like, never liked Faile in the books. but I like her in the show, which can kind of lead to like maybe you just didn't see, like I ran into this with Lanfear all the time. like I like Lanfear in the show, and it's like, well, that Lanfear's in the books. It's just you don't see it because maybe you don't appreciate the character in a certain way. Were you a fan of Faile before the show? Now are you, or were you always a fan? Like, how do you feel like the Perrin Faile dynamics worked out so far?
In the books, Faile was just always like a secondary character. She wasn't anything special. I really like this Faile in the TV series. I'm paying attention to her more than I did in the books. And that particular scene, like awesome for Perrin for standing up, like finally, and like saying like, hey, like don't bring up my wife. Like you have no reason, right? Like just like proud of him for standing up for himself. But at the same time, like everything Faile is saying applies. But then there's that added layer of the scene from the episode before where we get this story about her mom and the dark friend. And I'm like, wait a second. Is she just trying to like why is she here? Like, what a great question from Perrin. And like, is she a dark friend or is she not? Because nothing she said until now, like she could be playing the long game. We don't know. She seems like she's not because of her actions. And then the phrase of maybe I like lost causes rings something in my memory, and I can't remember if that's from the book or not. But I'm here for this Faile in the series. The Faile in the books was just always just another character. Nothing I didn't like and nothing I liked.
Yeah, it's again, I think it's just what they've done really well in the show, but I think it is the medium of seeing it on television, which is just like some things you read with your own voice and you're applying kind of your own bias to it when you're just reading a book, right? And I think that can change for people to listen to the audiobooks because they're getting another voice to kind of give them like intonation and everything. And then in this way, we're seeing the characters on screen. We're seeing how they're reacting to their character. I just think it changes how we can appreciate. They're much more three-dimensional, right? You can kind of write them off in the book a little bit easier as two-dimensional characters, whereas in the show they're just there, and they, other than Lord Luke, he's still two-dimensional.
Oh my gosh,
he's a name.
When we get there.
Oh man, so no, I loved seeing everyone's. By the way, Penny, welcome to the show. Penny's like, hi everyone, just watched the episode. I'm still in shock. WTF. We'll get there. We're going to be talking about all the things, Penny. It's awesome to see you.
What the Fane?
What the Fane? I like that. Yeah, Laurel, same thing. I just finally watched it. I think I need to watch it again. I have so many conflicting feelings. Yeah, welcome to the conflicting feelings breakdown.
Let it
right
marinate.
Now. So
let it marinate.
Yeah, you do. I mean, if you go back and kind of watch, we've kind of been walking linearly, kind of linear fashion through this, and I think you'll kind of enjoy the takes on it. Dana said, book Faile is great. People hate her because of culture, and that's unfair. She was very loyal and pushed Perrin to be great. He invaded her privacy a lot. Yeah, it's so interesting how they frame the relationships in here. This one's really working. I really like Faile and Perrin here. I do love what was brought up, this idea by Chris, where he's like, what Faile wants him to respect her decisions and the decisions of his late wife. And it's like at the end, he's able to say like, well, yeah, I respect that, and you need to respect my decisions, right? Like there's that showing that. I love that there's kind of like a war of minds and ideals between these two. And I love there's almost like a flirtatiousness to how they have these conversations, where Perrin really loves that she's challenging him, and she's someone that he respects and is willing to listen to, but he feels like he can challenge her back, which is what I think you were talking about, Wolfbrother, his ability to kind of like speak back to her. It's a kind of relationship that I can respect, and they've done a really good job of bringing it to light. Silvertooth, I'm seeing you kind of shake your head. Yeah, thoughts on Faile and Perrin in this moment?
I'm loving what they're doing in the show, but I do have to point out after my fellow Wolfbrother blasphemed Lady Faile, I love book Faile as well. I love their relationships in the book, but the book obviously builds that up, right? Like we got Faile, what, 3 episodes ago?
Senses.
Yes, but it's still they're in the book, yeah, you get it from Perrin's perspective, right? Like that's the difference. Like that's part of the way the books are done. But ultimately, like in the show, we got Faile like 3 episodes ago.
Yep.
So they did such a good job, in my opinion, of making you believe in their relationship this quickly.
Yeah.
And it seems like this one, like the scene we just watched was awesome. You just like, and Faile is amazing. The actress that is playing her does such a good job. She's quick. Like chat was going crazy over the "I'm not a big baby" comment. Like, yeah, it was a great scene.
Faile X2 said, "I've always loved Perrin and Faile in this book. There's a reason I've had this handle for almost 20 years." I get that from my appreciation for other characters. I think you're right. For them to kind of bring Faile and to make such an impact in this moment, they've done a good job. Like, I mean, in the end, you have to, like, we're working with 8 episodes here and bringing new characters in, really introducing them, getting them for us to, Wolfbrother, you mentioned this, like you're listening when Faile's on screen. You're paying attention. Yeah. Perrin and Faile are magnetic in their conversations. If you look at both their eyes, I wasn't sure if it's that one, like just looking back and forth between, they get close-ups of their faces and like their eyes. I said this this morning, their eyes belong together. They just have like a magnetism between their eyes. Dale said, just got here watching some non-book readers share their opinions has really helped me appreciate this episode more than I did initially. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. By the way, just watching this a second time and breaking it down and going slowly through what's happening, I think it happens so fast that there's so much going on that it's hard to kind of just like take it all in and kind of process it. So hopefully y'all are enjoying this. It's a blast to kind of slowly kind of take this apart and talk about it. 223 of you have voted. If Alana's bond bonds anyone else or have a bond passed to her in future seasons, who would it be? Rand gets 52% of that. Again, Lan, 35%. Not a surprise because most of you are book readers. So that makes a lot of sense why you would say that.
And
we are full book spoilers, everybody.
And when she bonds the Cawthon girls, I said it first.
You said it first. By the way, I threw this theory. Tell me what you think about the theory that it won't be Oliver. Like we're gonna get Faile. You know, if we get all planned seasons of this TV show. When? Okay. We'll go when. There we go. Faile will blow the horn at some point. Agree? So that was my theory, was they kind of like they're playing with the horn, and that she was there looking for the horn, and like Matt stole my glory moment, your friend, and I can't believe. Now that could just be kind of like playing up this moment, but I do wonder if we'll get some disconnection from the horn, and that Faile for the last, maybe it's the last battle, Faile will be the one to blow the horn. Silvertooth, do you like this idea? Do you agree with this theory? Do you think it's a loony theory, or are you on board?
I mean, it's a bit of a loony theory. However, I don't dislike it, especially because we're full book spoilers. So if we don't get Oliver, I like the idea of it being Faile if it's going to be somebody.
There you go. Do you agree with this theory? Who knows? Like no Oliver. Who knows what we get? It seems like they're showing us oftentimes we just can't have every character and every character play a full role. But can they give something significant in a way that makes sense. They can slot it in a way that's believable to us. That this person would take that loony theory that I love. Awesome. I love loony theory that people love. I'm all for those. Ooh, I can kind of see first results. I'm pretty happy with the first results of this poll here. Here you go. Let me play this moment. And this is the moment we talked about with the Tuatha'an. Everyone's kind of planning what's happening next. And so I just want to jump in here and see if we notice anything a little bit different from the first time we watched it.
Will you take our children with you and flee?
There is no leaf without the seed. We would be honored.
To our posts, then. Light be with you all.
None of the defenses will hold, so long as the trolics can get reinforcements through the Waygate. I have to shut it. For good.
I'll come with you.
If you leave, the villages will break. We can handle it.
All right. But once you shut it, don't come back. Go home to a steading heal yourself.
Is that an order?
3 more fighters won't make a difference tonight. But 1 book might, if we fall. You can make sure we're remembered. And maybe those who come after us will learn from our stories. And when the shadow comes for them, they'll win.
Oh my gosh.
Take care, Loial. Son of Arendt. Son
It's too formal.
Yeah, but it's like chills now. Like what?
Right.
Yeah. It's a definite farewell.
Yeah.
And I swear, your name shall sing in the world's ears. Lord Perrin, Golden Eyes.
Don't call me that.
He says the world's ears, not his ears. He knows what's up.
I love he's like, don't call me that, but he smiles. Oh man. Okay. So I look, this hits different. I want to talk about this. That was kind of, it's so interesting. If you go watch our live watch, I think everyone, not everyone, but there was like this like somber mood, right? Like everyone's just like, oh man, what just happened? And I think a couple of us said like when you see him go into the ways and it drops and it's like he died, and there was all this like conflict: is he dead? Is he dead? Is he dead? And a lot of us were like, I don't even know what happened the last 10 minutes of the show because I'm still thinking about Loial. Yes, foreshadowing. And we were like, la 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 la, Two Rivers battle. Yeah, there was so much going on in this scene. Like I actually on rewatch totally I'm into this choice now. Like at first I was like, wait, what? No. Loial, again, this is about balance. This is about grief, and this is about like making choices that and then respecting the other choices of those around you. Like Perrin, he knows he has to go, and he's like, okay, well, just him saying don't come back, that's kind of brutal, like, but he's like he's making this choice. Loial wanted the maidens to leave, but he's just like, okay, like, you want to come with, let's do this. Right. There's that. And Loial knows, like, he's the one that can close the ways. Right. He's the one that can stop this, and he's going to go do it. And that means, that he has to sacrifice himself. You can see that he's ready. And he's ready because he knows how it's important to these people. And so I have a much different appreciation for this moment where I would rather kind of respect and honor Loial's decision, and because I think it works, versus like be angsty because Loial's dead. Right? Like I was there this morning, right? I was like,
is he dead though?
Yeah. Like,
right,
well, no, I know that's the other question, right? Is he? And we can go over that one. I think I even said this morning. Like I think it's a better choice because I feel, like I said, it's like that is like a really impactful like loss. What an impactful loss moving forward. So yes, but is he still alive? We'll tackle that. So I just want to give you my thoughts there as I feel differently now, seeing this scene again, knowing what happens, and feel that his sacrifice was just a really, really like touching, impactful moment and a character moment for him that I'm actually into now. So yeah, Silvertooth, what are you going to say?
Well, Watch Series posted, I think it was on Twitter. It was a picture of Loial, and their caption though was Rand's internal letting people make their own decisions at the end of A Memory of Light. I don't remember the exact quote, obviously, but essentially, where he's battling with trying to, everybody else that's dying and things that are going on in the battle while he's trying to fight the Dark One. So it was a quote from that, and it was just kind of perfect, like one of those, like, yeah, like you said, he made this choice to sacrifice himself. Yeah,
and it's his choice to make.
It was his choice, and it was also obvious. Again, we've rewatching. You can see all of the lead up to it, and he knows what's going to happen. But you kind of realize it right away. Like if you think about it, he needed to destroy the Waygate, and it was, to me, it's clear like the Waygate was going to literally be destroyed. He wasn't going to be able to get back through it. So even no matter what, he was going to have to try and find his way out of the ways with a Trolloc army coming after him. So again, like we talked about, he knew he made that decision even before he destroyed the island portion of it.
100%. By the way, Koala said it works well, and Laurel said I'm still angsty. I need time. Totally. By the way, I'm not telling you all how you have to feel about this. It's like you can be both. Exactly. You can hate the choice and like the choice. You can never like the choice. I've just realized on rewatch here, taking myself out of kind of like what, kind of feeling that need for Loial to like make it versus like what really works here in the story. And I Lightblinded Fool, thank you very much for your tip here. I like what Lightblinded Fool says. It says, Loial's heroism and the fire blowing out of the ways makes me think they pulled some of this from A Fire Within the Ways, the Brandon Sanderson cutscene from the books. Absolutely, like, great way to kind of include that. And I would agree. I think that's like a call out that they do this a lot. And to the writers of these, there's a certain layer where you can get into the back end of the books. You go read something like, oh, that's the thing they were pulling on to kind of make this work from the canon of the books, but also like really kind of work it well into the, idea behind what they're trying to accomplish with this.
Right.
So
right.
I see you smiling, Wolfbrother. What were you going to say?
I agree with you. I think the right choice was made, and I think it goes right along with, the end of the episode where, Perrin says back to Faile, who was saying to him all along, you have to respect my choice.
Yep.
But there's this tiny bit of hope for me. And if any of you have ever watched Rudolph, a Red-Nosed Reindeer with, the Abominable Snowman and Yukon Cornelius.
Yes, keep going.
The Abominable Snowman bounces, right? So maybe there's a little hope that he's coming back. I doubt it, but
I like it. Maybe let's ask people how they're feeling about that. Last 10 minutes, 202 of you vote on when we get all planned seasons of the TV show, Faile will blow the horn at the last battle. Agrees. 56% of you are on board with that theory. Okay, well, that's pretty good. I like that. When will we see Loial next? And I'm going to say, in Teleron he's a hero. He's an HOTH, hear the horn. In later seasons, or he was dropped. Somebody said this. He was dropped out somewhere by the ways. I'll just say the ways dropped him somewhere. We won't. He's gone and not Hoth. And I don't know. Is there like another option here? It'd be like
Bumbles bounce.
What'd you say?
The Bumbles bounce.
The Bumbles bounce. I'm gonna call it Loial the White.
There we go. There we go.
That's just an answer. Here we go.
Yeah, no, same principle.
When will we see Loial next? Loial the White, Intel Ronriad, he's a hero of the Horn. The Ways dropped him somewhere. We won't. He's gone. Not a hero of the Horn. There you go. Hero of the Horn loading. I like it. Loial's book legacy was a nice touch. Maybe he will inspire Rand or Perrin to have someone to finish it if they meet Intel Ronriad.
Why can't it be Perrin that finishes it?
I love to see this one online. Fly, you fools. That was a good one. Thank you, Robbie. That's an awesome one. He wakes up in a steading. Yes, that was another one I saw out there. Like it drops him somewhere and he goes. I like where it's at this moment. It took me going back and really watching and digging into that scene to respect the decision that was made, both by the character and obviously by the writers. Yeah, go ahead.
I think with the writers, I mean, ultimately, like there have to be consequences, and when it comes down to it, they ultimately can tell the rest of the story without him. It's a character that takes a lot of effort with makeup departments and everything else. So it doesn't surprise me necessarily. Obviously it did. But like looking back at the choice, it doesn't surprise me given those aspects of it. Because not to say that Loial's not important to the story, but ultimately you can tell the rest of the story without him, and it's fine.
Yeah, Brian, I saw this, by the way, comment earlier today, how weirdly parallel that Loial Jordan's author character won't be around to finish the book. Such a hasty end. Oh, that's sad.
The feels.
Who writes the history of the age? Yeah, those are all good.
Yeah.
All good comments, everybody.
Aerith.
But by the way, my fellow Innkeeper did something last night. Before we move on from this topic, I felt a bit maligned by him during this morning's episode, I think it was. But thankfully, I went out and got some receipts. Did I send myself this thing? I'm like talking, and I'm like, wait, did I ever send the email? He brought up the fact that long ago, the way that we started off at the Dusty Wheel is we did live adaptations of like the books. We're like, okay, we're going to put ourselves in we're like writer's room. We're writers. We're going to go through the books and see like, what would we keep? What would we cut? And you'll recognize some of the faces on this episode. And we are having this conversation. This is going to take you back a little bit. Man, I'm not even sure I can like hear myself. The audio is like not great. Come on, Matt and Taylor, here you go. So enjoy. We'll watch a little bit of this. This is us having a conversation about Loial.
I'm very much on the fence and leaning that way.
Okay, Nablus, welcome back. Sorry about that.
Yay! Can you guys hear me now?
We can hear you.
I don't know what happened there.
Hey, so Mary jumped in for our first signal to cut Loial. She's in that position. Where are you at when it comes to the Ogier and Rand's meet up here? Do you think that they're fundamental to his development or any development of the party itself and the story, or I don't know? I'm kind of curious. What do you think about him?
So, I think it's part of a bigger discussion as a whole. One, I think you have to look at. I think Loial needs to be in the story if the Ogier are going to be in the story. But I do think the Ogier can be cut in general. I always talk about this. When I look at cuts from the story, what I want to look at is what has the least amount of collateral damage to the rest of the story. So if I removed this character or this plot line or any of the above, what's going to happen to the rest of the story? And I frankly think Loial serves as an exposition machine for the most part. But that role can be filled by Moraine. It could be filled by Tom. It can be filled by a number of other characters. So is Loial expendable? In the eye of the world, he absolutely is, because Moraine could know about the Ways if we wanted to modify that plot. So Loial isn't necessary. Now, if I was making cuts, I would probably, as much as I love Loial, as much as I love the concept of the Ogier, I'd probably cut him.
Wow. Okay. There is that piece of we
Okay.
can get a lot of
So I don't want us to like watch the entire clip all night long, but I will point out if you go watch that clip, all my guests basically said cut Loial, and I was like the one against cutting Loial. I just want to point that out. And in the follow-up episode, there was a retcon with my other guests because I brought it back up to them, and they retconned the decision. So Loial did stay in there, but I just want to point out, yes, my guests cut Loial. I was against it.
Of course, Nablus would cut.
Of course, yeah, exactly.
It's Nablus.
You know what? Nablus would kill Loial. He was probably the one that gave the writers the idea.
Yeah, I mean, he says something that's like crazy. What did he say? There's something in that. I'll have to go back and find it. Innkeeper, if you're out there and you can kind of keep on watching that. I think Nablus does say something that they ended up doing with Loial or something like that. Like, if you do keep him, you got to do something else. Sure, we believe you were against it. I'm going to go find the clip. That's fine. But yes, I know it's there. I proved it to myself, and that's all that mattered. Matt snitching on everyone. Yes, exactly. And Bain and Chiad said, I can't believe this has been 6 years. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild to see us. We were such baby faces back then.
It's been a fun 6 years.
It has been a fun 6 years. Let me kind of come back into this. About 215 of you voted in the last 6 minutes on this one. When we will see Loial next. 42% of you in Teleron Riyadh, he's a hero of the Horn. 19% say the Ways dropped him somewhere. 23% said we won't, he's gone, not a hero of the Horn. 16% said Loial the White. Yes, we did. Do we hear? I'm not going to make you listen to the next 11 minutes of that to figure it out, but I know it's there, and I'll post it later. But I did. I was against cutting. So the next kind of piece of this is when we get into the battle itself, and I want to come back to Perrin's moment with the people of the Two Rivers, and see how this kind of made you feel as you went through and saw this moment. So yeah, let's kind of fast forward to that moment and experience this again. This was a really impactful moment for me.
Close the gate. We walk the footsteps of our fathers, trail blessed by our mothers. They bought the land with their blood long ago. Long ago. Oh, sing on Netherland. Oh, weep for the Dain. Oh, cry for Netherland. Long ago. Long ago.
By the way, I was like, trolics? Don't ruin that. Keep singing. Robbie, how'd you feel about that one? Did that get you? Were you like,
yeah, for
were you in it in that moment?
I cried for sure. This is one of those. It was almost perfect. I did want so your poll is flawed in my opinion because I wanted both.
Shocking.
That's how it happens around
yes,
here.
Yes, dusty poll for sure.
They're flawed. They're flawed in perfect ways. Yeah.
I wanted both. I think it was perfect to lead with that, and I wish we would have at least gotten. It could have been really short. It could have just been something about the blood of Manetheren. That could have been really simple, but it was so good. Definitely, like everybody said, chills. That part of it was perfect.
Yep.
That song is chills.
I loved Faile's face. I felt like it was like one of two things. She's like, I did it. Or she was like, this worked just like I told him it would work. Like, I was like, she just seems so like satisfied in this moment. Like,
This
yes.
is all me.
Yeah, like, well, it's just like, she's like, yeah, he's like really taking these things to heart, you know? Like, I can just imagine like a discussion before, like, you've got to, like, they're gonna be so scared. My dad, like, this is just a moment where they've never been in a fight. You've got to, like, you know, you've got to do something, you know, and this is what he chooses. You know, I asked this question. 150 of you have voted in this first 2 minutes. I love having you here, by the way. Thank you for coming and joining us for this breakdown. 92% of you are picking speech over singing. So, sorry, singing over speech. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, like perfect moment, perfect callback, perfect Manetheren moment, connection to what Loial was talking about. You know, putting Lord Perrin into this moment. Really well done. This will resonate with me every time I see this moment. Great choice. Yeah, Wolfbrother.
So at WatCon, instead of getting a speech, you're going to sing for us, right?
Yes. That's what I'll do. I love that idea, just to start off WatCon. You know, just get up there on the stage and just start singing this song. Yeah, let me think about that.
Don't say a word, just start singing.
Yeah, exactly. The Freudian slip. The Innkeeper wanted a speech as well. Yeah, I agree. The Manetheren song had such a strong callback to season 1. I think it's been used so sparingly, really made it hit harder. It was perfect. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the song resonated, was more emotional than a fiery speech. Yeah, and I think Wolfbrother. I know you have to leave us soon. I know you have some time, but I want to give some time for us to talk about something that you specifically, maybe we haven't talked about it yet. You mentioned a bunch of theories. I'd like to make this last little bit that we have you know, kind of focused on, you know, highlighting some things that you wanted to highlight and digging into those theories.
Just jumping ahead, but the one theory that, if I may, is going to skip to the end here. Okay, so what is gonna happen to Perrin, right? And then the lack of Lord Luke, right?
Yeah.
So my theory here is, in the coming seasons, is
keep going. Yeah, I'm just gonna play this while you go.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. So my theory is, in the coming seasons, is that to me, one of my favorite scene is, you know, Perrin in Memory of Light running down Slayer. I don't think we're to get Slayer as we intended. And what would be great is, since we already have a Padan Fain established, is if Padan Fain ends up filling that role. And so he failed in the Two Rivers. He goes to see whatever the essence of the Dark One is going to be. Shadow Haran in the books, whatever that is in the book series. And he gets, right, because he gets distilled, right? In the books, he gets distilled pre-books, right? But now he's getting distilled, and he gets this power that he didn't have before, which provides Perrin's adversary that was Slayer, but now it's like Padan Fain Slayer-esque. I don't know. I hope they do the Wolf Dream and they introduce the Wolf Dream, because that's my favorite part of the Wolfbrother, and that's, to me, what makes Perrin so this mastery of this talent, you know, capital T talent.
Yeah.
And I would love to see this carried on. And with Lord Luke being kind of like just a name thrown in this season and not really given much, and Padan Fain being established already, I think it would be cool to see Padan Fain take on that role as Slayer, especially because I mean, with Padan Fain and how he ends up in the books and everything, I think this is a good alternative for him and to mash a character and to be an arch enemy for Perrin. And it gives Perrin somewhere to go in the long run, right? In the long game, right? Obviously, Perrin has something right now that has to be addressed, which I don't know if we're to get in episode 8 being walked away in handcuffs at the end of season 7. So that's my theory.
Yeah.
Is that we don't really get a Lord Luke, or Lord Luke isn't the Lord Luke we expect, and it really falls onto Padan Fain, and it gives Padan Fain a storyline for the rest of the books, or for the rest of the series. That's my theory that I think would be fun. I also am not sure where Perrin's story is going right now, because it's clearly not where we thought it was going to be.
I mean, it seems like it's fast forwarding. This isn't like nothing here, like just take out the whole kind of sequence of the Whitecloaks didn't fight and go back to, no, they did. And so Perrin's fast forwarding, it seems like, right? Fast forwarding into a future where he does stand, like he stands the trial or something to that effect, right? Like he does face justice in some form or fashion. So to me, it's like, it's not that it's not the thing that happens. It's we don't have time for Perrin to go through 7 books of the Whitecloaks, hounding and trying to, and eventually finding him, and then they get to a trial. We're fast forwarding that piece, which I think is really smart. Like them fighting, working in a Dain angle, which by the way, I think Dain could be playing the Galad angle with the Whitecloaks. I can see Dain kind of evolving into, basically seeing, look at the setup Dain, right? Padan Fain tricked him into, Padan Fain did terrible things and came in, and it's like, oh wait, the Whitecloaks can even be taken over, by the shadow, right? It's training him to kind of question his, the Whitecloaks are all good, and seeing that they've actually been influenced, and he's seen what Valda did, right, to Natty. And,
what a great ending for,
and how it's changed him.
That was so good.
So yeah, I can see them with Dain really kind of fast forwarding that plot arc and actually combining it with Galad. I think that would make sense to keep, again, consolidating those things. We don't need, you can try to convince me in chat, but I'm trying to think, do we need Galad to do that whole arc? If we have Dain doing that arc,
We don't, but what else is he going to do?
No, but that's what I'm saying is I feel like maybe they have something else for Galad in that, or maybe we won't see too much of Galad and Gawain. I don't know, right? That's the question that's still open to us. They can do things with them in the future. Go ahead.
There's no reason to introduce the Barreling storyline to Perrin either.
Yeah, no, it's true. Well, I would like to pose this one. By the way, I did ask your theory. 140 of you have voted so far, just in the last 3 minutes. I'll leave that one going just for a little bit longer. Padan Fain will upgrade to something like Shadowhuron or Slayer. Do you agree? 73% are with you on this. But I would like to, I want to revisit this idea of Lord Luke, because I saw this idea this morning. I actually, exactly. Right. They're framing him here. Right. So it's one thing to say Lord Luke shows up and he's just kind of like a nod to the fans. But they gave him
up, didn't he, in season 1?
He did, but they didn't keep using him in key moments. This is a key moment in the story where Perrin.
They name him multiple times in this episode alone.
Yeah, but why? Why put him here? There's no need to put him in another scene. You could just have Dain walk. But Dain is with Lord Luke, and we see when they go to the camp, we see the wolf heads, right? And so people are like, why aren't we getting more of the wolves? And we do get a little bit kind of you can hear Perrin hear them, and kind of, that's how you know trolics are coming. But it's go into the books, and it's well, Perrin was concerned because the wolves were dying, right? So I could totally see them punting on this, fast forwarding Perrin's story with the Whitecloaks, and then Lord Luke is with them, and building up the Perrin dream, Lord Luke Slayer angle coming next. Like that would
Right.
like giving us a little bit like Lord Luke. No one cares about like who is Lord Luke, but all of a sudden he's with the Whitecloaks, and you see him, and Perrin realizes like or gets involved with Dreams and Slayer and and the Wolves in the next season, and that would be to me that would be a good evolution of this, having kind of planted Lord Luke in this way. So, anyways, I like that versus giving it to Pat and Faine.
Yeah. I'm good with the plant, but I also, to me, like this is a way to make Pat and Faine relevant for the rest of the season or for the rest of the series.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I still think you could go the Pat and Faine Shadowhuron side. In other words, I think you could still push the Shadowhuron angle while keeping Lord Luke and still giving us Slayer, because you do want Perrin to eventually, we do need Perrin to understand the dream and actually get into, I think it would be a mistake to take him completely out of that dreamer, capability, the wolf dream, and what we get in the end. And you certainly, like having a Slayer angle where now it's like Pat and Faine's gone. We're done with like the Perrin, Pat and Faine thing, but now it's Perrin Slayer. And we get that moving him forward. I like that. So I didn't see Luke Modine confirmed. Some people like this idea. I don't know. Maybe setting up Luke for the future, or he's just a name. Yeah, they don't have to use this, right? This is kind of a classic moment of just kind of dropping it in there. But I think you could. Faine gets punished, distilled, and Hound her on. Yeah, exactly. He'd get punished for what he did, and they could definitely go that angle with him. And that would give Pat and Faine and his arc a little bit more meaning to what we get in the books. Although
we need crazy Faine,
I won't go down the road. I actually like how the books ended, but that has a lot to do with the metaphysics of what Pat and Faine became. And I know a lot of people don't like it, but I actually do. But we're not going to get into that right now because that's a whole different show. So. And I can see, Michael said, I don't know, I can see the show just doing the dream stuff with Egwene, not only and not Perrin. That's possible. It's possible.
I really hope not. It's definitely possible, but I really hope not. I mean, like Wolfbrother said, that's one of my favorite parts as well. But honestly, there's a lot of things we haven't gotten with Perrin yet, and I'm saying yet because I really hope. Other than a mention, he tells Faine, "Why do you smell afraid?"
Yeah.
That's the first time any mention has been of him smelling emotions.
Well, they've slowed things down often when they're not ready to dig into the right. It's like they're not often. They'll just give us a little bit of reference. It seems like until they're ready. Just like look at Egwene. We didn't get much of anything, and all of a sudden it was like she's a dreamer, right? I mean that's kind of Egwene, right? Like,
fair.
Egwene can do everything, but like giving us he's still learning these things, and they're coming along. But until they're ready to tackle them in the story, they're not going to build on them because that's precious time that they would have to give to it that they want to give to something else that they really want to build in the season. So I still think that they gave us not as much as I wanted. Like I wanted, for the moment, remember when he hears the wolves, but he doesn't see a vision that they showed us in season 2? That was to me, that was a lot. That was that moment. I was like, no, you had built this, give it to us, show Perrin seeing the vision. And I don't care if that costs a little bit of money, be consistent in that way. So we know that this is a growing thing for Perrin.
Show me the money.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the last thing is, this really quick, is I really liked everything with Aram. I did not care for Aram in the books at this point in time. And I am fully invested in Aram. And I don't know how much more we're going to see of him. There's a nod to it, but
what do you mean? What do you mean by at this point in the books? Because I definitely don't like him later in the books.
Where I don't like at this point in book 4, Aram, I didn't care for. He was I appreciated him and everything, but he's just another character to me. And then it's not even until after the battle, right, that he actually picks up a sword. But here I almost thought that they were to pull oh crap, I'm gonna have to kill this baby because it's being loud and I don't want the Trolloc to find me, to then giving him
That's
a
so
heroic dark. I went really dark, I know.
That is so dark.
But then he went to I'm gonna protect this child, and do what needs to be done, and go against everything that I've been raised as.
I thought they were going to have him stay and fight. I like what they did better. But it felt like
It's an
the build-up.
impossible situation, though. Like,
Yeah. The build-up felt like he was going to, no, I'm staying, and he was going to pick up the sword like he does in the books, right? But I like what they did a lot better.
Yeah. I actually do like what they've done with Aram in the show. I asked show Aram or book Aram. And to you, sir, thank you very much, Wolfbrother, for being with us. Really appreciate it, man. Any final thought you want to leave us with, before you go?
I am ready for season 8. Season 8.
I'm ready for season 8 too.
Yeah, I'm ready for episode 8. I am loving this season.
Yeah.
I want more Perrin. I wanted more Perrin.
Yeah.
But I'm also, everything I'm enjoying, and I get there's decisions you got to make.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Silvertooth, love you. Appreciate you. Innkeeper Anas, go Bucks. Innkeeper Anas and Innkeeper Hatch, thank you very much for all you do. And like I said earlier, like you say, welcome back. You guys haven't gone anywhere.
We talk about that. It sometimes feels like that.
The next stream, like let's try not to say that.
Yeah.
There's no way the whole show will like go off balance.
By the way, we're welcoming everyone else back. We've still been there. We're just welcoming everyone back.
Everybody else back. You'll get your steading and you'll get your rest here in a couple weeks.
That's
after season 8.
Season 8, yeah.
I'm putting it out there.
By the way, for those of you that are going to be at JordanCon, we'll see you there, or WotCon. I'm assuming you both are going to be at least one of those conventions this year.
I'll be at both.
Sweet. Wolfbrother, you're going to be at least one?
I'll be at WotCon, and I'll be, burning everybody up with my hot sauces.
Excellent.
With, Josh from BTP. So, all right. Thank you again.
We'll see you, man. Okay. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And by the way, you still have time to get tickets to WotCon and JordanCon. Yeah, you should come join fans. It's a lot of fun, especially after a season like this. There'll be so much to talk about. Doing that in person is a blast. And I think WotCon has a virtual option. So if you can't, they do a fantastic job of making the virtual really compelling. And so if you have to be like this and you see things, you get to kind of watch the opening ceremonies. Virtually, it's great. So
shout out to Vance for that.
Vance. I gotta get Vance on. Innkeeper, let's make sure we get Vance on soon.
I've tried. I have. If people are busy, and 3 a.m. is helping no one.
What?
But yes, Vance. When you listen to if you listen to this, we want you to come on.
Yeah.
I have to like throw back to this comment that Musu made. I'm sure you saw it.
I did. That's so good. Let me see if I can go find it.
It's like can't like not. It's like anything. Any play on the outro is gold tier.
It is golden. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Musu said, I see Fane as something along the lines of a Shadowrun analog. Oh, that's so good, man. Like sometimes you go like, were they listening to that? They were like, hey, that's a fantastic idea.
It's like just that's good.
That's good. Every once in a while, like I didn't believe it. Like it was like, wasn't it recently? Oh, it was out at the fan screening in London. The number of times that we were told by like, oh yeah, everyone watches the show, and and you're like, but
no,
like when you vet the idea because we're just fan freaks and we just chuck stuff out there. That's Vance is the best. Getting some love in chat, Vance. Definitely. 4 minutes ago, 140 of you voted. I feel like voting is slacking. This is typical. About 2+ hours into a live stream, we get some vote slacking going on. I get it, but we need your answers on show Aram or book Aram. Throw that in there. At least have how many of you are still watching with us right now? Like there's 400, like the audience has grown. There's 430 of you here because you're freaks and we like it. We appreciate that. Innkeeper, thank you for jumping on with us.
Yeah, no,
it's like you were just up this morning, doing a live stream.
Yeah, no, I was like, like when this started, I'm like, I'm kind of sleepy, and then as the thing went on, I'm like, I'm not sleepy at all.
By the way, I stopped right on the screen, and something you mentioned, I left the stream around 5 a.m. Eastern, and you said afterwards people started talking about the trolics. Like, what were they? Yeah, what were they saying? What did I miss?
I feel like Rant Elmore brought up the dog trolic, and I'm like, there was a dog trolic, and then so we went looking for the dog trolic, but we found the lion trolic.
What is this one? Is this like
I can't tell.
I need somebody to do. I need some
wolf.
screenshots of some trolic faces. We need the lion. Is this the lion trolic? Everyone?
No, the lion trolic is I think it's around 40 minutes. If I get that timestamp right, that would be pretty amazing. But it's Aram. It's the one that finds once Aram picks up the sword, you see it more closely.
Okay.
Yeah, people love the lion trolic for sure.
Lion trolic, is that the so far that's what you understand to be the favorite trolic?
Yeah, I think that was, but we haven't found the dog one. There was one that Rantamore said had like these huge horns that were like curved back, and like a ram trolic maybe.
This is the lion trolic you guys are talking about. There it is.
Yeah,
it's so hard to see for me because like the lights in here are so bright. If someone can get some screenshots and brighten these up for us, like send me some some trolic faces. I want to judge your favorite trolic face this episode.
Your favorite trolic.
I need some favorite trolic. Lion trolic is best trolic. Why are we body shaming all the trolics? Nargina confirmed.
Nothing beats bird trolic. Bird trolic was still the best.
Although I mean, I have to say, lion we need to properly give lion trolic its due before we write it off.
Okay, hold on. Oh yeah, this is the greatest theory that has come out of episode 7. Joe Perry just said, "Are they reversing the story where Faile is going to brood for a season trying to rescue Perrin?" Oh gosh, I'm going to end this poll. Thank you very much for jumping in and voting. 83% of you picked Show Aram over Book Aram. Man, Joe's theory, I love it. Theory, they are flipping the rescue script on Perrin and Faile in the show. Do you agree? Oh my gosh.
So does that mean
I didn't say do you like it? I don't say did you like it. I said do you agree? This is a great anything's got to be better than that. Let's try something different. That's all I'm saying. Samantha said Faile wouldn't brood, she'd just go to work. Yes, I get that. What did you think, Silvertooth? This is one thing that I'm going to play some of this just as we're talking. How did you feel about the battle with here, right?
Yeah, so this is when they have fallen back into the square, right? This is the end.
Yeah.
It was chaos. I think one of my favorite scenes for sure is between Perrin and Faile when
it comes out.
Yeah, when Perrin has his moment, and she thinks he's telling her to stay behind, and he's like, no, just kill the ones that I miss. Great line, and then Perrin just goes nuts. And I love, obviously, the hammer. It's not exactly like the books in regards to that, but I still like what they're doing.
I like seeing them. It doesn't seem to have the significance. They're not using. I mean, they're. It's much more subtle, right? It's like when Ilya sees the axe in his hand,
yep.
Right? and when he chooses to use one over the other, right? Will we like he's forging, something,
Yeah, the scene before Faile comes into the smithy with him, or maybe it's sometime during that scene, he's staring at the hammer at that point too. So it feels like they're setting that up, which I like.
Yeah, it's like, are we getting this later, similar to kind of like the wolves? Are we really like, is this going to start being his choice, where he actually sees the choice between these things as part of the decision he's making, right? Or are they just kind of give us a nods like, hey, look, he has a axe and a hammer, right? And you know what this means, but we're not really connecting as much as maybe the books made such a big deal about it,
Right.
So,
right.
The battle here I thought was really, really well done.
Agreed.
Right? Like, yes, there's not like thousands.
Wow, that's
I can't
really
remember
fast. Yeah, like I don't remember this at all. When did this happen?
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like there's just
what?
There's so much
Marin?
going on, right? I missed like a lot of the stuff. I actually, going back and seeing the battle, liked it so much better coming like the second time around. Christopher Chapman said, "I'm late to the party. Has anyone discussed Loial becoming a hero of the Horn?" We did. We'll probably end up back there. But I did like Innkeeper. Did you like the battle portion of Two Rivers? Like when they actually got into like the village?
If I don't remember it, that's probably like this is like it's so overshadowed this episode because I remember the battle of the past really well and I really liked that. But everything after that, like I remember Alana getting shot with a spear, and then I remember Loial. Like that's my recollection of like what happens is like somehow they keep getting caved in, and like that's what happens. So I have to watch it back, but like just watching it now, like here, I don't know, are you playing this like on faster speed?
It does look fast.
No,
looks like
this is the
fast.
speed from the show. Like,
it looks fast, and it looks I like it. And the beats to it actually, like the fact that the Aram thing happened in between here, I think makes sense. The fact that they go back to the the fight at the Waygate. You can definitely feel the beats that they were using in a fight, because in a battle episode the beats are important, right? There is like all is lost kind of thing, and I didn't feel it that strong, so which is good, because you don't want to like try be in the mode of predicting things, and I think they at least caught me off guard, so I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's
people are like, it's not normal speed. Like I haven't done anything. That is the speed.
It does not look normal speed.
Like that is the speed.
No, but you're on you're on Prime too, right? This is
I'm on Prime. Yeah, this is the speed.
Did you look at like your settings? Is there a like you can't?
No, there's like I've good, better, best. There's like
you can't even. Like, no. You can't.
That's what I'm saying. It's like really fast.
Innkeeper has a special like Prime account. Like what edit do you have?
Yeah, exactly right. Women's Circle Rocks, that was. I liked how they brought that back, and it was kind of even advanced from the first season. Or, by the way, the theory they are flipping the rescue script on Perrin and Faile in the show. Do you agree? 60% said yes. I didn't ask if you liked it. Do you agree? So I appreciate everyone's honesty and what they think is actually happening there. That's pretty great. You said you sent me some trolic. Is that what happened here?
But by the way, I just wanted to not talk too long, but I had the feeling of Lord Luke had the Ingtar treatment in season 3, because there was maybe more to Ingtar in season 2, and maybe there was more to Lord Luke in season 3, and it didn't really like happen. So it seems like, why is this named character there?
Right.
And like nothing happens. Yeah.
By the way, there's the lion. Is that the lion trolic there?
Yeah.
Nice.
Is that like? What's the thing on the the right? On the jaw. So if you follow not the jaw, I guess the. Yeah, exactly.
Right,
what is that?
It's like a bone that's like sticking out.
That's crazy. The snout and eyes are very lion, right?
Yeah.
It kind of looks like a werewolf. To be
Oh,
honest.
that's interesting.
Yeah, like since when do lions have tusks?
It's a like Agenor like was messing around. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, I like how it's supposed to not like. No, this is literally just a lion, and it's not like this is like some
a lion and a
shadow
pig,
spawn.
like a lion pig.
Oh, a lion pig. Okay.
Yeah, lion like pig combo here, I think.
Yeah, it's leftover dinner. Yeah, boar tusks. Yeah, like boar
Sabertooth?
saber-tooth tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other one,
Mufasa gone wrong.
the other one, there's the other one is like you can see the horns. I think they're the horns.
Oh yeah.
Um,
that is a messed up trolloc, man.
that's almost like an ape kind of feel to it too. You're zoomed in, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because the hand makes me think like.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah.
we need like the behind the scenes like
like the practical
how this one came
like how like yeah.
This reminds me of like that one scene you see like at the end of episode 1 where the Trolloc are like running through the forest, but you don't really see that you don't see that with the fight on like in the village, but
Right.
this one actually like this one running and jumping on people is pretty impressive.
You see Mufasa or Mufasaint. We haven't done
we'll do
ain't in a long time. We have to do.
Okay, we'll do that one. Good job. Mufasa or Mufasaint. I like it. Oh man, that's freaking
Knuckles is like
hilarious.
in the show didn't Mogedion make Trollocs. I mean Mogedion made Greyman, so I think that is a
Greyman,
reasonable kind of that all Shadowspawn are Mogedion.
Caesar gone wrong. It's just one big nope. It's my 1980s yearbook pick, my hairband days. That's a good one. That's my favorite one from Peter there. My 1980s yearbook pick, my hairband.
I want to put like a
hairband days.
cap on there, like a sideways cap on top there. Like
It looks like they made an ogier and made a Trolloc out of it. That's funny.
Too soon.
Island of Forsaken Moru. Yeah, exactly. I like that. Did you talk about the Trolloc tongue last night? What does that mean?
Oh, what's his name? Fane talking in Trolloc speak. Trolloc speak.
Oh yeah, that was
Trolloc language.
I actually really liked
Shaido, like whatever, like he was trying to like. I heard Shaido. I feel like a few other people heard that.
Keep my end of it. If you don't.
Now I can't not hear it. Thanks.
I know. Now I'll forever hear that. Forever hear Shaido. That's really good. Fane smart. That's funny.
Fane smart. That's good. That is good.
Fane called them off in Trolloculism. There you go. No fades, boo. No wolves, boo. Joe's still living on the distance between the camp and the cave at this point.
Yeah. Joe's like, there's no way they got from the pass to the thing, and it was only a day.
If the distance between the pass and Two Rivers doesn't come up in their next podcast, I'll be disappointed in Joe. Honestly,
It's like the Waygate. The mountains are so far. There's like no way.
By the way, there weren't wolves at the Battle of Two Rivers in the book. Slayer killed them all.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, you have to like think about. Okay, if they gave us five more minutes, how would you use it, right? Like, I mean, would you be able to get wolves in there? And I still don't think like it would matter. Like, how can you show wolves in a way and make it work, right? Like, it's just not like. So let's say the wolves show up this time. then the wolves always show up. Like it's just like I think you have to save some of these things.
The Eagles don't save them every time.
No, but that's what I mean. Like, from an adaptation standpoint, right? Like, you got to save some of these things if you're going to use it. Like, if they never use it, then you can be like, okay, but you have to save it for certain times. And
yeah,
I think that makes sense.
does that cheapen if we get oh my lord,
Dumais Wells?
Book 6, Dumais Wells.
Yeah, exactly.
Does that cheapen that, right? Like, and that's if we even get it that way, but
right.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. No, and I don't. Again, them slow rolling some of these things that were just like, I mean, if you think about like the Heroes of the Horn, right? Book 2, and you're like, so you got this horn, just blow it every time. There's a problem. Well, no. Do you have like a banner, and then we have to see who's blowing it, and then we might fight for you, and you're like, okay. And then he like gets Kalendor, and we're like, what are you gonna do with Kalendor? It's like Book 4. We're gonna put it right back in the floor. And we'll come back later. Sometime later, we'll get it. We'll come back, and it'll be relevant sometime in the future. So I do like that they're not like just rushing ahead and giving us all the things that they're just going to repeat like 3 seasons later. So yeah, I'm okay. I'm absolutely okay with it. I wanted them to at least hold the standard they put, which was he taught him he taught him some of that like the wolves communicate this way. And you saw them do the wolf communication with Perrin like twice in this episode. It's just like, show us the vision, like be consistent there so people can connect that. Like, oh, don't just have to like depend on the cue from like the voices or the sound.
Right.
Like, give us the visual cue that you gave us, which was actually really cool. So that's the only thing I missed from that. I don't feel like that I had to have like wolves here, honestly.
Yeah.
Right. By the way, what do you without looking at the poll? What's winning, Innkeeper?
Don't
look at the poll.
I forget. I don't look. I looked the other way.
Oh, okay.
That's not what the poll is. I forget. What is the poll?
Mufasa or Mufasaint?
This is tough. This is a contrarian group. I'm gonna go Mufasaint.
Mufasaint is 70%. Yeah.
Yes.
It's more fun to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Finn said, yeah, but the books gave us the same description of the same curtains in like 5 straight books. Yes, that's true. Yes, leaving people wanting more is from Christopher Chapman. Wanting the wolves to show up, but keeping them away allows a later rescue to be more impactful. Agreed.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, yeah, like I do want to talk about 2 other parts of this that we really haven't spoken about yet. Can we talk about the Pat and Faine interaction with Perrin here? And let's rewatch that here. 1 second. Oh yeah, I forgot that deals with like right in the middle of that is Loial.
Yeah, I think you gotta.
Yeah, we'll watch that.
Yeah.
Like, but this moment here, let's rewatch this. I like how like Faile's like, do it already.
Why? Why did you do this to us? Why do you hate us?
Hate you? I don't care about you. I don't care about this place. The Great Lord wants to wipe the 2 rivers off the map to make a point to the Dragon Reborn. Great. Kill me or don't. I have thousands of trolics coming through that Waygate. There'll be no lanterns at Beltane this year.
Yeah, we'll come back to that one separately.
Yes.
Oh yeah, here's this moment.
Sounds like your reinforcements aren't coming. I still have more than enough here.
I can smell.
Why do you smell so afraid? See? We're shepherds and farmers. Not a soldier among us. And you're the only one here who's afraid to die. I'll make you a deal. No. I'll make you one. You want to live? There's only one way you can. Call off your army. I know you control them.
You have been the whole time. Run far, far away and never come back. Or die right here and now for nothing and no one.
You trust me to keep that promise?
Trust. I'll keep my end of it if you don't.
That's a promise.
Love it. Okay. Yeah,
I thought you were gonna play the Shaido again.
Yeah, we didn't want to hear Shaido again.
Sorry. I didn't mean to take Shaido away from you. I'm sorry. Here you go.
It's so good.
I need Ruark to say it that way in an episode at some point.
Right.
I'm gonna end 130 of you. There's enough of you watching. We should have got more than enough, but I get it. Mufasa ain't. You didn't want to answer that poll. That's fine. 70%. I do want you to answer this poll. Okay. Perrin or Marcus's the Marcus performance of Perrin in episode 7. I'll just say 1 second. Marcus as Perrin in episode 7. We're going to say 10-10 no notes. 8-9. 6-7. 5 and under. There you go. And I want to talk about this one, the Silvertooth. Like, Marcus bringing Perrin to life in the Battle of Two Rivers. Like, how are you answering that poll?
Oh, 10 out of 10. 100%. So, and this is not a shot at Marcus whatsoever. Early seasons, it's not that I wasn't sold on him as Perrin. I just wasn't sold on what the show was doing with Perrin. I thought he could pull it off. It was tough. And he's a very difficult character to portray, right? For all the reasons we've talked about with the internal dialogue and everything he has going on. This season just took it up such a notch. Obviously, this episode being so focused on Perrin gave him an amazing opportunity to showcase that, and he knocked it out of the park. It's perfect from his performance part of it.
Yeah. No, I again, loved seeing him in this role. His connection with, I think of it like the different pieces, right? Him and Loial, him and Faile, Perrin and Dain, Perrin and the Two Rivers folk, Perrin and Padan Fain, like Perrin at war against the Trolics, just each of these different pieces. Perrin and the Tuatha'an, Perrin giving himself at the end, like the range that he brought in the episode, I really appreciated, right? Like really
100%.
Great character moments in each of those. Perrin, with Maxime, right? Perrin with the
girls,
with the girls, in that moment. Perrin with the two kids that were helping him with like forging,
the
stuff.
Alcine, the Alcine boys.
The Alcine boys? Okay.
Yeah.
Like he pulls off each of these really, really well. I really appreciated what he brought to the episode. Again, like, oh man, it's like one of those things that they did us in season 2, episode 3. It's so hard to just kind of drop immediately your book brain, and like when a character dies or appears to die, right? Like unexpectedly. There's just like, it just cast this moment, this spell over us, at least for me did. And like, once I was able to get away from that and really listen and see the episode, great episode. I love this episode so much more than 15 hours ago, whenever it was when we were live.
Right.
Like just really, really enjoy it for what they brought to it, each of these pieces in ways that just like immediately I just was like stuck on things. And so, loved what they did with Perrin here. So far, of those of you that voted, 163 of you voted in the last 3 minutes. Marcus as Perrin, No one's voting at a 5 or under at this point. Everyone's 6 and above, and 95% of you are 8 and above in this episode. I very compelling. I want to see Perrin and Faile again. I want to see Perrin and Dain. I want to see Perrin and Pat and Faine in the future, right? They gave us, like you said, Innkeeper, a promise there,
Yeah,
right?
that's a promise, right?
So I
It's like-
love the theory
Yeah.
of Pat and Faine going back, being distilled, Shadowhuron, like having more power, and then coming, and then someday Perrin taking out Pat and Faine finally, because he breaks his promise, right? Bringing justice.
Faine
Perrin,
Grudge Squad.
the
Dain
Faine
and
Grudge
Perrin.
Squad, yeah.
Faine and Perrin.
Yeah. Vashi, have we done another poll rating in the episode now that we've all settled into it? I wonder if it would skew a little bit higher. Yeah, I do agree. We'll do that poll next, Innkeeper, if you can remind me to do that poll. I think that'd be a great idea. And thank you guys for voting. There's still 400 of you watching us. Really appreciate you sticking around. We're almost 3 hours into this. And I love going slowly through these episodes and really tackling from what they were trying to do and how successful we feel they were as just viewers and people that appreciate the material that they're using to adapt the show. Jennifer Bear said, cried so much today. Yeah, it was really interesting to see people's different reactions to this. I was stunned and cried for 2 hours. It definitely, just the emotional beats it hits when you can step away from wait a second, that isn't how they do it in the books, right? There's
I actually found the scene to be more emotional when I believe it's Perrin, Faile, Bane, and Sheab when they are with his book.
Yeah.
That scene was way more emotional than him actually dying or anything like that. So
yeah, let's go. Well, let's watch the dying scene first. You gotta watch the dying scene first, and then you can see that.
That's true.
And I agree, Ashlyn. Donald needs his turn. We need some more Donald. So, yeah. Jay Cruz said, "I just got here. Can you start over?" No, but I hope you go back and watch this. This has been a really fun breakdown. Again, we tried to tackle this kind of, at least for the first 20 or 30 minutes of the episode, started at the beginning and really kind of just walked through the episode, and it's been a lot of fun. Daniel said, "Cursed so much today." Toby said, "Yeah, I watched this with some non-book friends. It was honestly their favorite of the season for some of them, which was wild for me." Non-book readers seem to have loved it through and through. That doesn't surprise me. Going back through it, letting go of they didn't do it this way in the books.
Right.
There's so many setups here that we're getting that are really, really enjoyable for the story. Like you said, Silvertooth, the story that they're telling about Perrin, right? That recap that got us into this episode, talking about the Tinkers, the Way of the Leaf, violence and peace, and the story they're telling isn't that's not how Perrin it works out in the books, and it's that's true. But they've set this up from the first season in ways that now you're why is Perrin struggling so much with this? I think that this makes the fridging of Layla any better? No. Again, I think they could have made a different choice there. But the overall question of peace and violence and how he balances that, how he finds how he finds his sense of what is justice, and the different people that he meets, right? Pat and Faine, and how does that affect his sense of justice, right? You think of the Whitecloaks, how does that affect his sense of justice? What Faile wants, what the Aiel believe, what each of these different groups, what do the two rivers believe is justice, and him finding his way through that, I do think is really done really well. So,
I think the way I look at this episode and Perrin in general, Perrin was probably never one of my favorite. It was my not least favorite. That just sounds like I don't like him. But off the people that I look forward to reading, especially from the three boys, was not the top of the list. And so I never connected with Perrin as much, and I never connected with this battle as much in the books. So going into this, I didn't expect as much out of it, or maybe I did expect more. And kind of what I got out was the way they did it. To your point, Silvertooth, when you everything you mentioned, all the relationships that Perrin had to make this episode work. It totally worked. And having said that, I still season 2 episode 8 better than this, even though the battle wasn't as good, but it had like the moments that I liked more. It had Matt moments that I liked. It had Rand moments and Egwene moments that I liked. And it's just, it's like you can certainly feel strongly about a certain thing. I'm just looking at the ratings. I don't know if you've looked at IMDb. If you don't, if you haven't rated, go rate the episode. It's an 8.5 right now, which is a solid kind of middle of where the rating has been.
Under episode 6.
Yeah, so I think episode 6 is 8.7, I think, and episode 1 is 8.6. So the fact that it's 8.5 is
that because of Loial though?
Right. No, that's what I'm saying, like, for sure. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Which is, again, like, I'm not surprised by that, but I was apprehensive about that being just much more, in terms of people not liking it. But yeah, so I think that's kind of how I would rate it. Is at least so for someone for who Perrin is not that like strong of a character in terms of looking forward to this season. And I was like, 8.5, yeah, strong episode. I felt happy to see Perrin finally get his moment.
Right.
Like I feel like people have talked about that. Brandon's talked about like Perrin. Like when this is it. Like this was Perrin, and he did it.
Yeah. I will also say though, like, so the reasons for me that Perrin is my favorite character are reasons that the show hasn't been able to explore. Like, it is that internal dialogue. And don't get me wrong, they explore things in other ways. The violence, his balance, all those things are still part of the reason I enjoy Perrin. But so much of like the Wolfbrother aspect of it, they haven't really been able to explore. And that's one of my biggest parts with Perrin. So I mean, I don't know how that fits in with maybe just show watchers. I don't know. I mean, as you stated though, like this episode, for being just like episode 4, was basically one storyline, right?
Yep.
That's what this one was, and I still think it was done very, very well. And Marcus was amazing. So
yeah.
I'm going to end this vote. 10 minutes ago, I asked Marcus as Perrin in episode 7. Still, it's like 93% of you, 93% of you gave him an 8 or above. Yeah. I'm going to ask, we had a poll this morning. I'll leave this poll up for a while. Basically, rate episode 7. And Innkeeper, I don't know if you can find if there's a way to kind of go back and chat there. It would have been right after the show is over, so it shouldn't be like too hard to find. But yeah, rate episode 7 or season 3 episode 7 now. As we've been talking about it, you've watched the episode. Curious if the ratings are any different than they were this morning. Obviously, different people. Some of you are the same fans here. Some of you are different. Some of you weren't watching it with us this morning. Some of you have only seen the episode once and are just kind of discussing it now. So I'm curious if it turns out any different for the crew that's showing up today to listen and discuss the episode. And while we do that and leave that poll up there for a bit, again, we're full book spoilers here. Let's talk about this moment, And I want to do somebody mentioned this, they saw an explosion. And so I haven't really thought to take too much time on actually looking for little Easter eggs or what they're trying to suggest. Someone saw an explosion when Loial is falling through the ways.
In the ways?
Yeah. So
in the ways?
Yeah. So that's what I thought they said. Let me see.
I mean, the explosion was outside, right? Obviously.
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean, you have that explosion for sure. It definitely got use out of the ways sound set.
The Ruidian
soundstage. This I love that he tied it to
absolutely
and what he was writing, and his role in preventing the trolics coming. Yeah, I thought they did that really well.
Yeah. This
definitely seems like a Fire in the Ways changing the metaphysics.
I like the pause.
Maybe it was, I guess it's just a little bit of flash of light here.
It's the lightning, right? Like the lightning.
But it's just the lightning? Is that what it is?
Yeah, because there is lightning in the waves.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Like there.
Oh, right.
There. And there's one more right there. Yeah.
Agreed.
I took screenshots of all the lightning to see how, like, can you see him? And you can still see him. And he's like still there. So at least he wasn't like the rocks didn't hit him mid-flight.
That's what you think is happening.
No, I'm just like, like when was the last we saw Loial? It's like, yes, we saw him fall, but like, did we see him in that picture too?
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like, how this is turning out. It's different. This, again, different group of people voting, so not a shock that it's different. But it does. There was I don't know. If you find what the people voted it before, I'm going to leave this up for a while. We did have somebody call in. They've been waiting almost 40 minutes. So let's bring them into the show. Hey, welcome to Dusty Wheel.
Hello.
Who's this?
This is Samantha.
Samantha, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. I rated this episode pretty highly, a little bit prematurely last night. I was a little bit behind.
Yeah.
And then it got to the ending, and I was a little bit in my feelings, and it took me a long time to figure out why. Talking about, divorcing your book brain from your show brain can be difficult sometimes. And it took me, I was like thinking about this all day at work. And I think what it is like in the books, the ending to this story with Perrin is like unadulteratedly happy, right? There's a wedding and Perrin goes off to get laid and everyone's happy. But here in the show, it's like not a happy ending. It's not even bittersweet, really. Of course, everyone's still alive, but Perrin is in a bad place. And actually, as a book reader, I have a lot of hope because I kind of know where they're going with it. But, it took me all day to figure out, like, oh, I just wanted the happy ending right here. I wanted Perrin to carry off Faile into a shack somewhere and for them to have fun and for everyone to be happy. So I guess what I've been trying to figure out is, like, is there a way that, like, the writers could have done everything that they wanted to with accelerating this timeline where we still get, like, a moment of a really just plain old happy ending in the Two Rivers, because we don't get that many happy endings for plot lines, like super happy endings, for a while.
Yeah, no, it feels like, this feels like, it feels like a bit of a cliffhanger, right? Like he's walking off. You want that happy ending, so you want the story to continue, right? I wonder if they were going for, if this is a happy ending, it feels like the end of the story versus like, no, there's more to go on, and like the conflict that was driving this isn't over yet, but the trolics are gone at the very least. So, yeah, no, but I hear you. Like, it'd be nice to have. It'd be nice if it was like a little bit, a little bit.
I think what Samantha is asking is, you need to poll. Did Perrin need to get laid at the end of the episode? Is the poll that we have to do?
It's like, did Perrin was. Yeah. Perrin did not get any happiness at the end. Rob Christensen just said, it's not a cliffhanger, Matt. He fell off the cliff with the cliff. That's terrible. Jeez.
Wow. I like it.
Well, yeah. So for Samantha, is there a moment though, we didn't get that happy ending from the books. Is there a moment at the end of this that you still did you enjoy the end absent that, or was it just kind of like too dark as we got to the end?
I think it's ultimately too dark. I don't think I'm surprised that just show watchers would like be happy with it, because like I said, as a book reader, like I know exactly what they're doing, and I have hope. Like I'm not worried at all about Perrin. Maybe I should be after what they did to Loial. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm not really worried about Perrin, but I kind of wish the ending had almost been spoiled for me in the show, because I wish I had known that it wasn't going to be happy, then I'd be able to like appreciate it more.
Yeah.
I just it took a long time to figure out like why isn't this hitting like it is in the books, because I didn't really care that much about like any of the changes by themselves, but like I was like it just doesn't feel right. Of course it doesn't feel right, because it's it's not super happy at the end. I wonder if like at the end, if they could have said, Perrin wouldn't have gone with them because, they brought dark friends into the city. But instead Dain says, hey, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be in the Two Rivers until you're in my custody. That's a promise. So we know we have to deal with it next season, but like Perrin still gets like a day to like breathe.
Like some kind of moment. Yeah. No, yeah, it does feel like, kind of like the end of episode 6 with Rand, like, there's no, like, it wasn't a hopeful ending on episode 6. I'm trying to remember like all the endings. We watched them last night, but they are kind of progressively absent of hope, if you will, even when they get a small win or a big win. And I guess, obviously, the saving Two Rivers here. But yes, there isn't. But I wonder if that has something to do with, like, if you look at, like season 2, like kind of built up, they all got together and they won, right? And so I wonder if they're just kind of like setting us up for more loss. Like this season is about grief and loss and trying to find balance in a world where that's increasingly more difficult to do as the seasons have progressed, as the story's progressing. So, but yes, I mean, we're definitely in a less hopeful kind of space in the story. And they've definitely fast forwarded it. So then maybe there's a little bit of that, which is, how much hope were we feeling around, the middle? I guess this is 3 seasons. They plan. How many seasons did they plan for this?
8.
Said
8,
yeah.
7 or 8. So, yeah, I mean, like how much hope was there at the end of like a book 5 and
I mean
book
the only
6 as you progress,
the only reframing I would do about it didn't end on a happy note is for the audience or for the watchers it didn't end on a happy note, but for the Two Rivers it did because they won. But even for Perrin, you can argue like he got what he wanted. He wanted how he wanted to win it, right? He chose nonviolence.
Sure.
So like in like what they have created as far as choices and characters for choices, I think it was happy, right? But sad because of like how we perceive it and how we remember the books. So that's a really good point in terms of like what could they have changed that would have given us that.
Well, I think
and
Samantha,
I don't think
Samantha made a good point of what you could do. I think that is the way you would have had to have written that, right? Which is the conflict with the Whitecloaks isn't over, but Dain is willing to kind of like take some blame for like bringing in destruction to the village, and so like he's willing to wait, but he's not going to wait long, and you could have like left it there for sure.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Silvertooth?
I think that's really brilliant about Perrin kind of getting what he wanted, because he kind of shows up there to turn himself in, and even in the books that's the case. I'm just like more like Faile, like what you want is really stupid, Perrin. Let's not do this.
Well, I think from Perrin's perspective, though, ultimately, what did his decisions lead to? It led to saving the most amount of lives. Like the Whitecloaks show up, more Two Rivers folk live because the Whitecloaks are there. He has Fane call off the trolics. More Two Rivers people live based on that decision. So I think ultimately, from Perrin's perspective, it couldn't have gone a whole lot better than the way it went.
Yeah, that's a good point. Samantha, thank you very much for calling in. Any final thoughts to leave us with before we let you go?
No, nothing really. I'm happy Days Conger finally found something that was better than alcohol.
That's a good. Yeah, that's a man. Days Conquer. We haven't even talked about Days Conquer. Well, thank you very much, Samantha, and we'll talk to you soon. Appreciate it. Bye bye.
Yeah, it's I'm just trying to think of the ending. Like, to me, the ending with Perrin walking off with the Whitecloaks didn't bother me as much. What bothered me more was the mechanics of how the fight with Faine came to an end. Because that is not necessarily like a win.
Are you saying mechanics as far as like how the mirror draw like are connected and they made him connected? Is that what you didn't like, or was it the mechanics of just like we didn't get a solid conclusion to that aspect?
I mean, it wasn't. They didn't win. Like like Fane's not gone, right? Like how far is Faine gonna go here? Like he's
more of a draw.
Yeah, it's like a very it's not even a like it's like a well, you almost died, but I'm afraid right now for my life, so I got my life is spared and I just went away. So like they could be back in a week. Like realistically, like Lanfear could show up or someone could show up and be like, Faine, go kill him. Like, like I'm just trying to think of like realistically not much of a win, like in the mechanics. I can totally be like, yeah, Faine has some murderal powers and he made it work in the moment, but like the actual like realistically is like, how does this work? Like, like how much can you trust Faine? You can't. But like, is this like just delaying it for a week, 2 weeks, a month? Like what is this going to be? And Perrin's not there anymore.
Yeah,
because he probably knew he's not going to be there. So it's just like, I guess you won the night, really.
Yeah, I think this morning I was like, Faine is literally just over the hill.
Yeah,
with the like planning.
Like, oh, Perrin's gone. We can go back.
Right.
That was
like Rocky's comment here made me laugh. Maybe the Ogier have a book that we can read that will make Loial reappear. That's pretty funny.
Nice.
That was good. I see two other callers, and people are like, "How do they call?" Well, after almost 6 years, people have learned the number, and they're just like, "I'm gonna call and see if I can get on." So yeah, we'll get to those callers here shortly. Any other? I have to go help my son do some moving of boxes and stuff like that. So I can't stay on for too much longer, but I can give it another 15 minutes or so. So. Any other kind of pieces here, Silvertooth, you wanted to kind of dive into before we let everybody go tonight?
I can't really think of anything that we didn't cover. Because I mean, we talked obviously going into when we jumped on, where does it go from here?
Yeah.
I think that's just the biggest question. So I think you had, if I heard you correctly, you theorized that they might fast forward the Whitecloak plot with Perrin.
Yeah, I mean that seems like the obvious. It's one of the things that I will always love about talking about the books with fans is like the books were perfect for some fans, and I'm always like, really, you liked this plot? I hated this plot, or you weren't bothered by this plot going on 7 books, or and so that this particular plot of Perrin actually, like, they're like, well, you didn't help us, therefore I don't have to go with you, and then we like delay that for like the entire series. And then because I felt like when we finally got that, it was like, what's happening and why are we back here and why do we care? Like in the books, it was like, I get you want
quite
to
a few books in between.
I'm going to close the loop, but really, like we're talking about this. So I can see them saying like let's resolve this. Let's get this to a resolution so we can move Perrin on to other things. So it feels like, that's where you go.
Right.
Like him walking away, like when I watched that, like I was like, okay, like that actually makes
That it makes perfect sense for the
I
books.
actually liked it. Yeah.
I would be okay with that. The only thing I wonder, okay, so do we still get Demise Wells next season?
I
and
no,
if we
I don't.
do, how do we,
I don't
You
think.
don't
I think
so?
that's a season
Okay.
5 thing. I think season 4 has to be focused on going to tier. Like
Okay.
Like the most thing that makes the most sense with season 4 is that they take the Shido, and that Kalendor actually becomes like the Shido are going to tier, and that Cooladin's going to tier for Kalendor, and Rand is chasing him down there, and you have the Aiel basically attack the Stone of Tyr, and you have a battle there, and you could easily bring Matt back to Tyr, right? And you could kind of converge Matt and Tyr also, and have that kind of those pieces of the story that you kind of are expecting, and I think Demise Wells becomes like part of the next season.
I like that.
I feel like it's both. I think it ends with Demise Wells.
I just don't think you can make it 8 episode arc.
That would
puts
be a
Tyr on
lot.
Demise Wells, like that would just be crazy.
Because all right, so you wouldn't be able to have established the Black Tower either.
Yeah, right. Like I think you got to go Black Tower and then Demise Wells in season 5. Like that's what you got to do. Like,
and the Black Tower took like a book to be made. I mean, we could, we were talking about future seasons now, but but like I think it's more of a, if we get a season 4, can I please see Demise Wells? I think that's probably where that is coming from, and not sure, make it season 5, because that we'll be getting a season 5. That's I'm fine with that.
I want us to play this moment you guys were talking about. This is the one where they're looking at the book. And I wonder if it resonates differently.
I love this scene.
Differently with me, like even the second
Oh,
time
it
through,
was so okay. So I don't know. I want to preface this.
Yeah.
I think this, by the time you had left, Bree thought that some of the words, full book spoilers, were similar to what Rand and Dark One were talking about in that last battle.
Like in this like...
so there's a part where he's like, a man who was a leader, like there's like a line about Perrin and what Perrin like wanted to do.
Okay.
You know how in that, I don't want to go like too, okay, so if you haven't read the last book, please go away.
You're like, I don't want to spoil the last book for you,
but this is
it's
like
full book spoilers at this point.
Yeah, I know, but I just want to be like, this is like actual talking mechanics. So as Rand is like going through, like looking at Egwene, looking at Perrin, looking at like all of this, and saying like it's about, before he says it's about them all, he there's a line about what it is about them, right? And there's one line that it is directly, it's like directly from there that Loial says. Because Bree looked it up. I trust Bree, so like I'm just like saying it. I want to go back and check, but
let's play it and see if we.
2 Rivers will need a new blacksmith. If you'd like to stay.
I told him. I ordered him to go home after.
He left his book. He knew he wasn't coming back.
Life is a dream from which we all must wake before we can dream again.
May your soul find water and shade. Loial, son of Arent, son of Halan. Your name sings in our ears.
The wheel turns, and the red eagle of Menetherin becomes a wolf. The 2 Rivers stands alone against the shadow, with a blacksmith to lead them. A man who took that role, not because he wanted to lead, but because his people wanted to follow.
2 Rivers. We had a deal.
What are you talking about?
Will you surrender yourself to the light's justice, as you swore?
I suppose you call yourself children, so I shouldn't be surprised you can't count.
No, stop.
Perrin. Sorry, like past that part with Loial's statements, and I was like, does it come back later?
Yeah, it
Is
does.
Like more like
yeah.
Where is it? Right after that part, like when he's walking away.
Yeah. And that's the part that's in the yeah.
A man of honor. A man whose family was taken from him, but who stood tall in his sorrow and protected those he could.
That line.
Perrin
Yes.
Yeah.
My friend.
Hail Perrin Goldeneyes, Lord of the 2 Rivers! Lord Perrin! 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 Lord Perrin!
Gotcha. So they pulled that line.
Yeah,
people are pointing out like the family line doesn't maybe work as well.
But that is the line. The family line is the is
like
from
they
the
took
books.
it from the yeah.
It's
By the
from-
way, yeah, go ahead.
I sent you the code if you.
Oh, you sent which one?
Yeah, that like just I
Oh,
like
that-
found
that
it. Like this is
line.
like actual like proof.
So you're like,
Proof.
it was there, but but let me show you. Oh, there it is. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Whoa, this is like a huge thing. It's zoomed in, man. Oh yeah, nice. Okay, so they just pulled it directly from that.
Yeah, it's like right at the end too. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. By the way, 250 of you have voted on this. I left this up for the last 25 minutes or so. Rating episode 7, 11% 10-10 no notes, 60% 8 to 9, 22% 6 to 7, 6% 5 and under. That's not like dramatically different from this morning, I don't think. I think it's similar. There was more 5 and unders. There was like 11% or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I couldn't find it. I can't tell if like I went past it.
Yeah. I call this Goosebumps episode as in chills many times. Yeah, I mean, again, this one resonated with a lot of people, and then there are a lot of people did not. Like, probably the most, I think, divisive among like people reacting to the show that I've seen them be all season.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I do wonder if you take out the Loial piece there, like how that would have. We'll never know, but I wonder how much of that is connected to that choice, if you will. So
I think it would have to be mostly that though, because I don't.
Oh really?
I don't disagree.
Okay.
Well, I guess Perrin leaving with the Whitecloaks could be part of it, but I think overall, the battle and the way they did it, it would shock me if people rated it low based on that.
Yeah, I feel like it's the Loial hit us in the face, and then it made it harder to swallow the other changes. I think it's how I like. If that wasn't there, we would have been the Perrin walking off would have been more palatable. If everything happened the same way as in the books and Loial just died, I feel like it would have been fairly highly rated still.
I'm gonna ask everybody that if Loial had survived, not fallen into the void, would you have rated this episode higher?
Yeah.
So I'll be interested what people here just rated the last one, if that was impactful or no, it was like other things. Again, like Samantha brought up to us. Well, like I said, I have to kind of call it good here. I'm bringing this caller we have. Sorry for those who were waiting to jump on. I think I missed one of you, but here, let me welcome this caller to the show. Hey, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
Hi, this is Blake.
Blake?
Yes.
Oh, Blake. Well, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. What question did you call with?
So, if you guys talked about this, I missed the first half. I apologize.
No worries.
My question, comment, I don't know, I've got two of them. And the first one is, do we know where Tam is? Because I feel like he's missing. And then the second one is more of a comment, and that it's like, I rated this an 8 out of 10. I would have rated it higher, but I'm just getting ready to be disappointed for something that happens in the future since Valda died. And that is when I started liking Gawad.
Okay. First of all, about Tam, because a lot of people brought this up, and people said maybe they were trying to, having Tam would have taken away from Maxim taking on a certain, like, that role that he seemed to have taken in this episode. And so it seemed like, I saw someone say, like, Tam's role would have kind of taken that, and they wanted to give it to Maxim in this moment for his character growth, so they didn't bring Tam back. Silvertooth, were you kind of like disappointed that you missed out on Tam? And as far as we know, they
name drop him.
He helps
he helps Perrin's family escape.
Ivarus get out. Yeah. With Abel.
Yep. So neither one of them are in the season, which I mean, it's disappointing just because it's Tam, right? Like, it's the greatest dad in all of fantasy.
I mean, I think I would hate it much more if they didn't have the Tam Rand stuff later. Like, that is so important.
Yeah, if we never get Tam again, it's a problem.
That's a problem. Yeah, but if we didn't get Tam in this fight here, well, that's okay as long as we get that part at the end. Yeah.
Well, I would like to see Tam, like, if they follow through with this idea, we get a season 4 and Perrin gets taken away. I think it would be interesting to bring Tam back to Two Rivers and be part of. I could see Tam and Alana and Maxim. I could see that, like, Tam basically joins in with those two.
Yeah. Do we get the Two Rivers army that follows Perrin throughout the rest of the books?
Right. Yeah. Right. Blake, do you foresee that? Like, if we get a season 4, is that what you hope to see? Which is we kind of see them follow that line in the books, and maybe we do get Tam back at that point.
I would like that. I guess I can see how they're kind of getting back to, like, closer in line with the books, and so, like, I understand the change. I guess I had actually missed the name drop in the previous episode about him leaving, so I just was like, where did he disappear? Is he on a milk carton somewhere? So I'm glad you guys said that, because I was just a little bit confused on that. But yeah, I can see how they're kind of leaving him back in, and I do like that they're getting closer to the books, I feel like.
Yeah, this they talked about getting, and Rafe talked about this, like, believing that this season would bring them back. And it's like seeing what they've done with Viridian. I like the Tanchico kind of stuff they've done, some of the changes there, and seeing what they're doing with Two Rivers here. Obviously it's seeming like fast forwarding some of the plots. Yeah, I can see them again if they give us, like, the Shido tier arc, if you will, and we get the Stone of Tyr. I can see that really bringing us back in line with where we expect certain characters to be. Bring the Shanchan back in. I can see that kind of, like, happening.
And I think my biggest concern with them getting back in line with the books is that it's been a while since I've read, like, the first half of the series, I'll be honest. But I feel like Morghese is not a very sympathetic character right now. And with some of the changes they've made, I feel like getting her to be a sympathetic character later is going to be difficult.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on, like, how much are we going to have a situation where, are they going to give us much more with Morghese, right? Like, do you have, like, Ravin and Morghese disappears or Morghese dies, and now you have Ravin take over, and all of a sudden you have him take over in Camelin, and that looks like, and then you get conflict and have to take out Ravin, and then you have Elaine come back. So, I mean, I could see this actually not giving us much more Morghese.
I could see them actually killing her in the series instead of everybody thinking she dies.
Yep. Yeah, I wouldn't be.
But how am I going to start liking Gawad? That's my big concern.
I mean, I wonder, yeah, like there's a lot of outstanding questions. Like, what would they continue? Are we going to see all the characters we saw this season? Would we see them all in a season 4? Yeah, no,
Does
that's a good
Galad join
question.
the Whitecloaks next season and ends up there?
Yeah, I mean, he certainly could.
I still don't know how
they
that
could
makes
take
you like him, but
yeah.
I just part of him joining the Whitecloaks is him killing Baldo. That's what made me like okay with
gotcha.
him joining the Whitecloaks. So that's me like,
yeah.
How am I gonna appreciate him now?
I mean, they don't have to. I think we talked about earlier. You might have missed this one. Theorize that maybe they're going to give like Dain, Galad's Whitecloak arc, if that makes sense, and have Dain become this person that they have Galad, which is like, what would they do with Galad? Maybe not. Maybe you wouldn't do anything with Galad. I don't know. Like that's a good question of like, what are they thinking and how far are they planned with some of the characters they brought into this season? So yeah. Any final kind of questions? What was your favorite moment from this episode?
Faile becoming a murder gremlin. That was my favorite part of the episode.
Faile the murder gremlin. Oh man, I'm gonna find that spot and put it on screen here. It's right. I could have sworn it's as she's following him, right?
It's at one point, but I don't think it's right away.
It's not right away.
I don't think it's right when she starts following him. No.
It's like, anyone have a timestamp? This might be
because she continues to follow him.
Does she? Okay.
Stop trying to
so it's not here. If anyone has a timestamp, I'm going to throw this. But is it right in line here? I mean, this is part of her.
These all count as Faile's kills.
She finishes them off.
Yeah, that's how he just injures them, and then she finishes it.
To me! Hold the square! We hold the square!
This was very reminiscent of like a Doom game for me and even Outpost.
Sorry, say that again, Blake.
This was very like, I've been playing a lot of Doom recently, and it reminded me like the music and everything. It was like playing a Doom game almost, like watching that film almost.
I like that. I like that connection here. Come on, where's the moment? She jumps up on I think it's the one that's most memorable. She jumps up on that trolic and just like...
Yeah.
What are you talking about? She jumps up on a trolic?
Isn't it a trolic? Yeah. And
like... No, I don't remember this. Like I said, this is...
You don't?
I don't remember.
Or is it earlier
I just
than
don't,
this?
Like, no, I just don't remember. Like, this is a part, like, I don't remember. Like, like...
Right.
Yeah,
I think it's coming up soon.
Like, is it before when they're out fighting originally?
No, I think it's during this.
No, it was when she was following him, for sure. Because like that's why I missed the first half of the show, is because I was watching this. So it's pretty fresh, but like it was definitely when she was following him.
Okay, let's move on here. Yes, we know you die. Okay, maybe it's... Okay, here we go.
Like, we know you die.
Come on.
Yeah, I thought it was like the second.
This is the super speedy version of the episode, by the way.
This is the super speedy version. Shoot, I like that we're just rewatching this to find out the jump. No one wants to give me the where's the timestamp?
I'm looking.
I think it's coming up here because he's about to go after him. He kills a few trolics on the way.
Oh, this looks like.
Oh yeah, there she is.
Oh, nice. Oh, I did not see this. That is the first time I'm seeing this.
That was the first time?
Yeah, I mean, like I don't remember that.
Yes, awesome. I like the comment in chat I saw. It was where is it at? Shoot. It was like vampire murder gremlin. It's a vampire murder gremlin. Well, Blake, thank you very much for calling in. I appreciate you sharing that. And I'm curious, how did you end up rating this episode?
I was a solid 8.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. My rating is increased, I think, as I've continued watching it and breaking this down. So, well, thank you very much for calling in, man, and give us a call again.
I will.
Okay.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye. Vampire murder gremlin is pretty good. Faile flew up off the ground onto the Trolic's head. Vampire confirmed. Gosh,
Layla does the same move in season 1. No.
What?
No.
I don't believe that.
You're like, we have to go watch season.
Now I have to go watch season 1. Like
episode 1.
I was about to end, and now we have to find this. It shouldn't be too hard.
I think she does kill one from behind, but I don't know that it's the same way.
Okay, here we go.
I don't think she jumps on and its back and stabs it in the top of the head the way Faile just did.
Yeah, it's like, anyone have a timestamp on that? That's so wild to go back and watch this one. Oh, that's right. She's up on the wall, right? He wasn't one pinner on the wall or something, and then she just stabs it.
I don't remember. Oh, no, this is too far.
Yeah, I think he's about to.
Right, you're right.
You're like, I know that scene.
I remember. Killed somebody again.
Yep.
I'm like, no, it's when they're first in there. It's gonna take us a moment, everybody. Yep, this is an end of an episode. We're all Perrin down here. That's right, pun intended. Where is it? Shoot, does anyone give me a timestamp in there?
No. Yeah, she's pinned to the wall, and it stabs it a bunch of time, I think.
Oh, here we go. Okay. Maybe it's right here.
Maybe.
Come on. It's got to be right here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Someone said this is not what I want to watch before. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
dude.
Damn.
Okay, they did. Wow, nice call. That's pretty cool. They both were, stabby murder gremlins, whatever they call them.
Did you see Helena Westerman's comment? I think it was on Instagram, under I think Marcus's post, something like, "You stabbed me, you stabbed me in the back after you axed me in the front," or something. And it's the one where the Faile and Perrin are kissing. Yeah, it was really good. You have to go see. It was fun.
I like this. Perrin has a type.
Murder gremlins.
That's an insane callback. That is an insane callback. Someone needs to patch those two together. Yeah, that's pretty great. Let me see. What was that last poll I just asked? About 200 of you voted on this. If Loial had survived, not fallen into the void, would you have rated this episode higher? 60% said yes. Well,
yeah.
Okay. Well, you were serious out there. You're like, yeah, don't take my Loial. We know. We did that live adaptation thing, and
I know we're not talking about
a lot of angry
episode
people.
8.
We are not talking about episode 8.
But Innkeeper Hatch,
yes,
would say the same exact thing, but someone else.
That's true. That is true. No, thank you very much, Silvertooth, for being here. Innkeeper, thank you. And for those of you that stuck around watching 3.5 hours of this breakdown, we do really appreciate it. And yeah, it's always fun to kind of go in these and analyze them and figure out what it was that was either bothering us or what still bothers us. Or what we've finally understood what they were trying to do from a show standpoint, what they're trying to show us. So, Innkeeper's wife is here and just laughing. Did I miss a previous Innkeeper's wife comment? I feel like just laughing. So maybe I missed something. Well, good to see Innkeeper's wife in chat. We have not watched, if any of you are waiting for the live Hatch family watch, we have not actually watched episode 6 together or episode 7 together. So this weekend, we're going to try to do both of those. Ooh. And not only that, my sister-in-law is around, and she is a fan of the books and the show. She started watching the show first, then she read almost all the books yet. I don't think she's gotten to the end. I think she's like book 11. And loves the show and is always like sending texts about like, because Lan's, I think, her favorite, one of her favorites. So
that
she's always like, wait, what happened? Did this happen in the books? Because she's read the books.
Is Loial
like
a favorite?
I should ask, but we don't. She hasn't seen the episode yet.
I know.
So
I'm just yeah.
My wife said nope. I don't know. I don't know what she said nope to. I can't remember.
She didn't say anything before.
I don't know if you want to. Would you mind throwing up a swag giveaway here?
Yeah.
Thank you for those of you that the tips. We really appreciate that. We just take the tips and we go and buy swag and mugs for people from the show that have won them here. So your money goes back to a good cause, which is just like having fun. And then you can go buy a mug like that or some of these other mugs. I don't know if you notice. Can you see these things? Oh shoot. I'm trying to think. I can't remember the fan that did these. These are freaking amazing. It's like I don't know what this is called. Like these like plastic kind of
fusey beads.
Yeah,
no.
like I don't know if you can see that. That's so freaking sweet.
It was better when it was closer to your.
I know. I haven't like. I need to take like a close-up shot, and again, I don't know if I've ever thanked the fan that sent us those. But they're amazing, and they're all along the back here, and they're so cool. Like I'll have to do like a close-up shot of each one. They're awesome. Yeah, join the raffle if you'd like to grab some swag. Where can I buy Dusty Wheel merch? There's a link in the description of the video, in each of the videos. Basically, just Zazzle has a store, and there's just a bunch of stuff like, hey, if you want the whole Hatch family on a mug, that's kind of fun. In our chibi form. It's a blast. And you can see a couple of the mugs up there. I don't know if you can still see them. Oh no, Innkeeper's in the way. I'll get rid of him.
I can. Okay. I was gonna like show my collection.
Oh yeah, you can show your collection. Oh, that's good. Nice.
It's right there. Back there.
Yeah, we're at the stage that we're like we're just chilling out. No more deep breakdown of the episode itself. And
we got it out of our system. We got it out.
No, that was good. That was a lot of fun, again, to see it differently and to try to look at it like differently from a different perspective than my original one this morning. That's always, I don't know, it's to me, that's part of the fun of seeing this adaptation is in part like, in part being annoyed by something and then in part seeing kind of some meaning behind the choices they made or questioning the meaning behind some of the choices. Again, like, the axe and hammer don't seem to really have relevance yet in the story in any decipherable way that I've been able to kind of suss out. But it'll be interesting to see if they ever do try to bring that to bear or if they're just kind of like,
It feels like they're hinting at it, but it could also just be one of their small little nods to the fandom. So
that's a lot in his head. Like it's like hard to. I mean, he could talk about it, and he might, and that might be our like, oh, that's the physical representation of the battle in his head. The hammer is not a tool of violence.
Yeah. By the way, Tiger Shack said, I'm glad this exists. I got to meet you all in person. Dragonstone Nexus has been an absolute blast. Awesome. We're grateful to have you here. This show is so freaking good. It makes me want to read a book, and I'm not a big fan of reading. Yeah. These are a lot of books, but I think they're worth giving a try for sure. I mean, I've been reading them for a long time now. So, but yes, for those of you that might not,
Innkeeper Hatch only reads these books.
No, it got to the point. I mean, it did. Like, it became so much Wheel of Time in my life that I do have a hard time reading other books at this point. I have a hard time reading at this point. With as many live streams as we do, like, this is my Wheel of Time engagement is live streaming now, not reading. So Brian, this show has some great characters, but one of them has a long ways to go. Thank you, Brian.
Brian.
Light Blinded Fool,
Oh,
like I
Brian.
said, I'm not reading them right now. I am doing live streams. So that's what this is all about. Go ahead and close the poll up, close the swag up, and let's give away some swag. And what was that Layla's hammer versus Hammate? Let's see. Dana Lou, we'll do that poll. Dana Lou, to be Raj has won Dusty Swag. Raj, congratulations. Reach out to us with a link in the description of the video. You can jump into Discord. That's where most people do it. We just need your name and email address. Remind us when you won and who you are. And again, reach out. You can just reach out to me on Discord. Just ask around for Innkeeper. Go join it. Link in the description. If you can't, for some reason, you can reach out to us on social media too. So, but yes, congratulations. Did we see Raj? Oh, there you go. Yep. There's Raj. Oh, wild. I love it when someone's like, I've entered one of these for the last 5 years and I just won. There's some hope. And next week is episode 8. If you are still here and hanging out with us and you really enjoy doing the live watches with us, or you're just going to stay up next week with us and do the live watch, you can jump on Discord and jump into a channel called what is it called? Now I'm like
Show
Testing Chat. A bunch of you, about 35 of you have found us so far. If you want to be part of kind of a live watch, on Zoom with us, we use Zoom here for our guests, and you want to be part of that, kind of similar to what we did, or the same of what we did for the teaser reactions for season 1, go in and mention that there. There's at least 35 of you that'll make it a lot of fun. Having 50 of there will make it even more fun. So let us know on Discord in Show Testing Chat if you would like to take part in that live watch. You won't be able to mute everybody. It's just having your live reactions to whatever the finale is. So, what did I miss here? Innkeeper's wife said Skeeter. There's still hope. Skeeter, what does Skeeter say? Sometimes you can even get your mug.
Sometimes you even get your mug.
Winning
the mug is just the first step.
Yes,
Winning the mug is just the
Jam
first.
said Show Testing Chat. Yes, it's a funky name for a little channel in Discord. But just look it up there. You can ask on Discord where it's at, and people will point you in the right direction. Can a person purchase merch? Yeah, you can go purchase it. You don't need to. You can just go to the Zazzle link. If someone wants to throw the Zazzle link from the store in there, you can. You can just go on Zazzle, look up the Dusty Wheel, and you'll find the store there, and you can definitely buy some merch. So yeah, go ahead and do that. And that's it, everybody. Any final thoughts from you, Silvertooth?
I loved it. I know obviously there's things that the fandom's going to be decisive about, but overall I still loved it. It was still Perrin. It was still Perrin's story, even if it was slightly different. And obviously not Perrin's full story, but Perrin's major arc in the book series. So it came to life, and I thought it was done well.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I think he brought that to life in a way that was really believable again. And I think the walking away with the Whitecloaks really hits well because of what they did there. So, Rocky Outcrop said, tell people to check out the Nikhil show, push your great content. It really was a bang live show. That's like the one thing that Innkeeper, Honest, and I are terrible at. We do so many live shows, and then we're just like, I don't know, man. Yeah, we should probably tell people about what was in that show, and we never get to.
It's like, can you go watch those 3 hours and then those 5 hours, but also these 4 hours?
But we did have the composer of the Hills of Tanchico with us, and it was a fun episode last night. It's right at the beginning of that episode. Go look it up. And yes, someday we're going to get really good at cutting content out and sharing it separately from our live streams. There's so much stuff we were talking about. We have a 40-minute interview with Rafe. There's 20 some odd questions in there, great stuff. And we're like, yeah, sometime we should cut that out and share it with people. But you can go find it somehow, some way. Max said, I was on a plane for most of this, but glad I caught the end. Awesome, Max. Good to see you. And it was awesome. I agree. So that's it, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. And we'll be back next week. We actually have a fun thing that I can't tell you about, that I hope I can tell you about before.
Fun things.
Fun things. Yes, fun things next week. And I can tell you in the form of interviews. That's what I can tell you right now. But because they're not finalized, I can't I just want to get your hopes up beyond saying yes. Be on the lookout for some live interviews next week, and I'm hoping we'll make that come true for the channel. That's me exciting. Steph said, "What is that scary face? That's like the album. Is that the season 1 album? That's like Egwene's face.
That's Egwene. That's Egwene's pool.
I know. I love that it just sits back there behind me. Sometimes it catches me off guard. Yes, long Natasha interview. I guess you'll just have to wait and see. So, you're all welcome. Thank you, Silvertooth, and thank you, Wolfbrother, for being with us. And Innkeeper, thank you for all you do for the show. And yes, much love to you all. Thank you for being here. And as you share on here, good night from the Dusty Wheel, and smash to black. You went right to kill it. Look at you. You're all ready. You're just done. I mean, this is like this is
really well. And now I'm like, great. My turn.
And if you don't like that, and you want to say, well, Robert Jordan could have made the 2 rivers all white. He could have, but he didn't. So.
Just complimented me on my dress, and as you can clearly see, I'm
sad. I see Luconia as something along the lines of a Shadowhuron analog.
It does make sense why it outlasted the breaking.
Yeah.
See, this is why I have Therese in the show, because she's going to correct everything that.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Dusty Wheel Show. What? Meme Off Challenge. Yay!
Perrin's baby face mounted on a huge body. So all of a sudden,
this is not just a traditional fantasy, right? There are sci-fi
and
elements.
Just a moment ago, Rafe tweeted something. So let me get my guest in here with me, and
probably I would say put in 70, 80% of the work. I got to be over the shoulder and be like, no.
You went right to kill it. Look at you. You're all ready. You're just done. I mean, this is like this is
really well. And now I'm.
You went right to kill it. Look at you. You're all ready. You're just done. I mean, this is like this is
really well. And now I'm like, great. My turn.
And if you don't like that, and you want to say, well, Robert Jordan could have made the 2 rivers all white. He could have, but he didn't. So.
Just complimented me on my dress, and as you can clearly see, I'm sad.
I see Luconia as something along the lines of a Shadowhuron analog.
It does make sense why it outlasted the breaking.
Yeah.
See, this is why I have Therese in the show, because she's going to correct everything that.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Dusty Wheel Show. What? Meme Off Challenge. Yay!
Perrin's baby face mounted on a huge body. So like all
This
of
is
a
not
sudden,
just. You went right to kill it. Look at you, you're all ready. You're just done. I mean, this is like, this is one
really
of the
well.
biggest scenes.
And now I'm like, great, my turn.
And if you don't like that, you want to say, well, Robert Jordan could have made the two rivers all white. He could have, but he didn't. So,
Just complimented me on my dress, and as you can clearly see, I'm not wearing one.
I see the Comey as something along the lines of a Shadar Haran analog.
It does make sense why it outlasted the breaking.
Yeah.
See, this is why I have Therese in the show, because she's going to correct everything that.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Dusty Will Show. What? Meme Off Challenge. Yay!
pair of like baby face mounted on like a huge body. So like
this
all
is
of a
not
sudden,
just
it's
a
like,
traditional fantasy, right? There are sci-fi elements.
And just a moment ago, Rafe tweeted something. So let me get my guest in here with me, and
probably I would say put in 70-80% of the work. I got to be over the shoulder and be like, no,